We're gonna be starting this thing up shortly in just a second. So it's up to you. I'm going ahead and sending out the DMs and everything right now. So we'll be starting it shortly. We're gonna let our people come up in here. We're gonna be talking about this actual space Tariq had last night and this Jewish cat Peter. Oh man, that thing was wild, man. I heard that space today on YouTube, and whew, this Joker was cutting the fool up in here last night, man. He came up with some mess about black people and the civil rights and everything that Jewish people have done for us. So we plan on having us a nice conversation. We're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk about the San Francisco PD putting in killer robots over there in San Francisco. So what's up to Quadil? What's up, Minx? What's up, Professor? How you doing?
All right, Newstoter, man. Good to see you again in another wonderful space, bringing the information to our people like you always do. And I say to the people that's in here right now, when Newstoter sends out all that different information, we need to retweet it to all our people so our Black American family knows what is going on in our community.
Oh yeah, man. Like I said, I was gonna do another space earlier, man. I was gonna do another space, but I went ahead and I say, let me go ahead and talk about this here because, like I say, we sit up here and we hear all this anti-Semitic this and that or whatever. But my man last night in that space, and of course we had Newstoter space going on, so we missed it. But he was wilding in there. He talking about everything anti-Semitic, this and that, man. You been anti-black as hell. Everything you talking about, you sitting up here trying to protect your people while throwing dirt on my people. So Tariq went in like a champ too. Like I heard that. If y'all haven't heard that, man, we're gonna play some of that tonight in this space as well too. I mean, he was on fire last night. He was on fire, and this dude here just the nonsense he was talking about, dude. Like, I mean, good Lord, that's why you can't let people just piggyback off your struggle and leech off your struggle and this and that. Before you know it, they're gonna be sitting up here talking about all the stuff that they did and did for you and did for that. This dude sitting up here telling us that it was the Jewish people that did the bulk of the work in the civil rights movement. It was the Jewish people, that got rid of Jim Crow. It was a Jewish. I mean, all of this stuff was built off of the back of the Jewish people that and we're protecting Kanye West and this and that. And I mean, man, this stuff last night, old boy was saying was ridiculous. Like, Ray hit me up with the text earlier today, and he was like, "Hey man, you need to check that space out or whatever." I said, "Well, I know Tariq don't really record his spaces, but I said I figure he probably would have it on YouTube." And I caught that YouTube video today, man. That shit just like, it just had me numb, man. Just hearing this dude, man, because there's millions of other folks out there like that. He's sitting up here saying that basically, and Tariq made a great point. Like, basically, we should be quiet. When it's anti-black racism coming from the Jewish community, from the white Jewish community, we should basically tiptoe and walk on eggshells and not say nothing because our actions is going to lead into, I guess, an uprising against the Jewish community. But like Tariq said, y'all can go out here and y'all can just put Kanye and Kyrie and anybody else on Front Street, put them on blast and this and that and talk about this and that or whatever. He's trying to blame us for damn synagogues and stuff being burned and stuff like that. Like, black people ain't never burned those synagogues down, not to my knowledge. And if they did, it had to be a very small amount of people that ever did that, man. Like, I mean, what are we talking about here? I just heard that last night, and I was like, man, that did something to me. That pissed me off last night. And I shouldn't say last night because the day is when I actually heard it. It was last night, but the day is when I actually heard it.
Yeah, it was a bunch of BS that this dude was talking, which is what a lot of them are out here talking. And this is why a Black American family has to get on point, stay on code. And when these folks come for us, that means we need to take them to task. I'm telling y'all, we got to take these folks to task because they always talking this anti-black shit. So they want to sit here and throw out this term anti-Semitism. I don't really give a shit if you think I am, because my thing is, you folks are racist. You folks are racist. You anti-black. You want to see us at the bottom. You're trying to make sure we stay at the bottom, and we are calling you out on it.
I thought Tariq nailed him perfect last night when he was talking about everything with the civil rights movement. It was because of that the Jewish people control the media and this and that. But Tariq said, I thought that was anti-Semitic. I thought it was anti-Semitic when you say that Jewish people actually control the media. And so you're like, isn't that what y'all got on Kanye West for? He tried to backpedal and this and that. So in one instance, it was all you giving a big ups to your people because y'all control the media and y'all showed everything that went on with the civil rights movement. So you really was the reason that everything popped off. But then at the same time, it's racist and it's just totally wrong to sit up here and say that you have any control of the media. So which is it, man? Either y'all control the media or you don't control the media. Which one is it? You're sitting up here taking all the credit for all the black people that got lynched and hung and killed out there on the streets and stuff like that. You actually got the nerve with a straight face to sit up here and say that you're the reason that all them black people that took to the street that was fighting, getting down, women getting water hoses sicked on them, little girls getting blown up in churches and stuff like that. And you sitting up here saying that it was your people that set up there and did all the heavy lifting? This Jewish dude was dangerous right here, man. I don't give a damn how much of the media you own and everything else. I don't care how many shields you got in the political offices and stuff like that. We know the NAACP is up your ass left and right, and so is the Urban League and the CBC and all the rest of them. I don't give a damn how many of these Negroes you got on the damn payroll. This is nonsense, man. We've been sitting up here listening to this garbage for all of these damn years. They went ahead and created an NAACP. You had and just start and control that from day one. It was for how long was it before the NAACP actually had a black president? How long? I mean, W.E.B. Du Bois, they kicked him out. They told him no. He was just a black face up in the group. So you sitting up here talking about all this stuff? Yeah, you came up with your own organization, the NAACP, something that's supposed to be for black people, and then you end up going ahead and just using it as a front. Now, that's not to say that you didn't have Jewish people sitting up in the civil rights that did help. Yeah, you had some Jewish people that helped, man. Nobody's taking that away from you. Yeah, y'all have helped at times and stuff like that. But don't sit here and say that all of you have helped us out and all of you done this and that. We have been a financial surplus to your community as well, too, here in the South and things like that. When you couldn't make money from other white folks, you damn sure was making money from black folks here. When we couldn't go to these other stores, yeah, you came and you took us because you say, hey, nigger pennies add up just as much as white pennies. So to sit up here, man, and just kick this damn garbage last night, I'm glad that he got his ass broke down. He got broke down. Ray, what's going on, man? You the one that actually told me about that because I knew the space was going on, but I didn't know, because we had the news soda space going on, so I didn't know exactly what it was. So you hit me up this morning, was like, yeah, you need to check that space out and listen. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll check it out when I get a chance. And I knew it was on YouTube, and I said, let me check that space out, and bam, like, yo, whoa.
Yeah, normally I don't never really recommend spaces, but bro, I couldn't even go to sleep. I was like, I got to hear all this. I got to hear everything that's going on in this space, man. There was a lot that was going on because, we'll get into it, man. It was a lot of stuff, I really want to touch on, especially like the NAACP. Like, you notice when Tariq started talking about that, he's like, you better not bring up that NAACP. He kind of strayed away from that topic because, if you know your history about that, the NAACP was founded by, some Jewish people. One of them was named, I believe, Joel Spingard. And I've spoken about this before because they still give the Spingard Award to this day. They give it once a year. But Joel Spingard, the reason allegedly why he even, started the NAACP is they were trying to find out who all the smart black people were. And Joel Spingard took the list of all those smart black people and he gave that number, not number, but he gave those names over to the FBI to use it against us.
Yeah, not only that, but I forget the name of the fellow that Tariq was talking about that actually started creating a lot of the actual suburbs and stuff like that. And one of the rules is that, hey, black people can't come out here and they can't live.
William Levin.
Okay. Yeah, black people can't even. And this joker, no matter what actual and factual evidence Tariq had, he sat up here. He just went against it the whole time, no matter what it was. He's sitting up here. He's trying to say there was black people. Who was it? Leo, what was his name? Leo Franks up.
Leo Frank out of Atlanta, Georgia.
He trying to say that Leo Franks, that it was a black ministers in Georgia that got the Jewish man basically in trouble or whatever. Now, what power did black people have? What power did black ministers have back in Georgia back during that time where and he can sit up here because he got upset because he kept saying that Jewish people were white and this and that. He didn't want to hear that. I would wish Tariq would ask him, well, if y'all not white, then what race are you? Are you black? Are you Asian? Since he kept saying that they're not white. Oh, we're not white. We're not white. We're not white. I would have asked him, what race are you? because you damn sure not black, and you know you're not black. And I'm pretty sure whenever it's time to go ahead and fill out that application, you circle white on there. You and like I said, he asked him too, what's the difference? Like if I walk down the street, what characteristics are different with a Jewish person and a white person? He wouldn't answer that either. Just so we can know. So we because when we walk down the street, we can't tell the difference between a regular Anglo-Saxon, Caucasian, or Jewish person. So help us all identify what's the difference, because we damn sure don't know. Black Pressure, what's going on, man?
What's up, Black fam? Hey, just real quick, I'm gonna go back to listening. I was, I think Ray was in there too. I was in the room live. Tariq took it easy on him because dude was out fucking rageous, man. The shit, news, you should have heard the shit this man. And I'm saying, I know you said you went back and listened to it. It's different when you listening to this shit live and your emotions are involved. This dude was completely outrageous with the shit he was saying. You would have swore this dude was reading a script. He was just the shit he was saying was outrageous. And I'll drive down and listen.
You ain't got to drop down, bro. If you just want to chill in the speaker, because I want the people that heard it, anybody that was in that space last night, and anybody that's got anything they want to say, I want you to go ahead and request the mic and just give us your point of view. What you feel that this dude was saying, was it accurate? Was it just BS? Was it bold-faced lies? Because you're right, being up in that actual space had to be different than me actually listening to the day, because I'm thinking like, damn, like I know everybody in that space wanted to get a hold of this dude. Like I know people was begging to get that mic.
It was I think 1,400 at the top number, and I was trying to get on the mic. I wanted to ask him about certain things, that Leo Frank's attorney said. Like, this is a quote from his attorney. His name was Luther Rosser, Rosser. He was Leo Frank's attorney because obviously they was trying to blame those two black guys. One was named Jim Conley, and I forget the other guy's name off the top of my head. But the quote goes, "Is it possible that you Anglo-Saxon men have forgotten the true nature of the Negro? Conley, a plain, beastly, raggedy, filthy, lying nigger. Have I overstated that? He is a plain, dirty, filthy, lying, drunken, and properly lousy nigger. They got a dirty black Negro, and in order to give impetus to his testimony, they had a barber cut his hair and shave him, and they gave him a bath, and he came in here like a slicked onion. Whoever played that trick was unworthy of the name white man. Why didn't they let you see him as he was, with his spreading nose, through which probably tons of cocaine had been sent?" I mean, there was so much. That's just. I got quotes on top of quotes on top of quotes. I was trying so hard to come off that mic because I just wanted to just ask some questions, about this whole the little girl that was that he allegedly murdered was named Mary Fagan, and I just had a bunch of questions I wanted to ask about. Well, if he didn't do it, who did? Why was he the last one to see her alive? I had a lot of questions, but like I said, Tariq never came out. Let us come off the mic. So.
Well, you saw, Ray, too, that the Jewish guy said it was a black person that did it. He was saying that they were wrong, and somehow these black people, back whenever that time, I can't remember exactly what year that was. These black people,
it's like 1910 or 1920.
Okay, 1910ish or whatever. Let's say 1920. Let's give it 1920. These people back then these black people had all that power that they can go ahead and they can go ahead and get a Jewish man, a white looking man. They can go ahead and railroad him. I mean, come on. I mean, just to sit up here and go ahead and say some nonsense like that was just, like I said, I wish Tariq would have just let everybody just tore into this dude last night, but he did it by himself. He was being respectful, but he still tore into him. I mean, to the point that he's just like, hey, man, I can't hear no more of this nonsense that you're talking about, dude.
Yeah, because that guy that obviously he's a black person. They interviewed him for 16 hours straight. And everything he said, actually, they couldn't find him to be a liar because, like you said, it's the 1920s. They would have lynched him for any reason, but they didn't have anything. And let's just be real. It wasn't us that did this to Leo Frank at all. This was white people that I believe broke into that jail, brought him out, and hung him. It wasn't us. But they're trying to say we worked hand in hand with white supremacists. How the hell are we gonna work hand in hand with white supremacists when they killing us too? That doesn't make any sense.
And this joker had the nerve to say that Kanye West was the biggest anti-Semite in the country. I mean,
yeah, like you said, not the Proud Boys, not those people in Charlottesville that was chanting "Jews should not replace us." It actually killed someone. Nah, it's Kanye West. No No offense.
Let's go ahead and kick it to Daughter of Zion and the Black Pressure. DJ, what's going on, man? How's your reception in the
Everything's good. Reparations up. Newstoter. What's good, my peoples?
Nothing much, man. And I'm gonna have you play certain segments of that actual space last night, just so any of the people who actually didn't hear it can actually hear it, and we can go ahead and dissect this thing even more. We're gonna be talking about this tonight. And also, y'all, I just want to let y'all know that San Francisco PD does have killer robots now on the payroll, so we're gonna touch up on that as well too. We know the hot topic is about the Jewish dude Peter. But we can also mention some of that as well, too, because we have to go ahead and keep our people informed with the news, no matter where it's at, all throughout the nation. That's why we are the largest Black-owned news curation platform today in America. Daughter Zion, go ahead and unmute your mic, sister.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I was in the space last night. I might have missed the first few minutes of it. I'm not sure. But I did listen for, I can't believe that Tariq was talking to this man. I listened for like almost an hour, because he usually, when he interviews, when he usually lets somebody have the mic, he gives them like 2 minutes or something. But it was frustrating at the same time, because Tariq does not go in on the people he needs to go in on. He has no trouble going in on, Nigerians and Somalians. But this guy, he was so easy. He would have been so easy to take down, because Peter, he was just giving up stuff, and it's just stuff that Tariq could have came right back at him with it, like questions and, well, if you're not white, what the heck are you? You are white. I'm not white. He kept saying that, and I'm like, okay, Tariq, come on, this is the opportunity. So many times he's had opportunities at different times when he's talking to people. And I don't know. I can't, I don't understand that. I don't want to say too much about it, but I'm not too sure what's going on. But also in the chat, there was some tweets from Peter, and he was calling people the N-word. And I said, is Tariq looking at his messages? Ask Peter about this N-word. You're calling people the N-word, but he's up there denying stuff and just basically denying things at the same time, admitting to who he is and who the Jays are. But there was literally tweets in Tariq's chat, and I don't know if he just didn't look at them, because then, Peter was gone, and maybe he looked at him after. He could have asked him that. Like, okay, the number one, you're calling Kanye the number one Semite? Well, you're the number one racist, because you're calling people the N-word on your post. He didn't ask him about that, so I don't know. Maybe he didn't see them. But, I'll drop down. Maybe more will come back to me. I can only remember so much stuff at a time. But, it was a little frustrating, because it was a whole hour, and they're just going back and forth, tit for tat. But to me, it could have gone deeper. It just wasn't, I don't know, substantial. He could have just ended Peter. But I could have ended Peter with all that he was putting out. But anyhow, I'll just listen for now.
Real quick, sister, I listened to the space, and I thought Tariq did a pretty masterful job. Like you said, maybe there was some things that he may could have asked him about his race and stuff, but I thought he did a pretty good job, because he used intellect. Everything this dude said, he had something to back it up. He had what we call actually facts and sources. So and he caught this dude in so many lies and stuff like that. This guy was up here trying to, to be a revisionist of history here. He was sitting up here lying through his teeth, and every time he's told a lie, Tariq went ahead and he broke it down. So, I get what you're saying, that maybe he could have went in there hard or whatever, but I think he wanted to go ahead and show his intellectual ability last night, that, hey, I don't need to name call you, and I don't need to call you out and this and that or whatever. I'll just sit up here and we'll go fact for fact. We'll go historical references and stuff like that, and I'll show you what you're saying. When he broke out the one guy that was on the magazine of Time and whatnot, Ray said it about the guy with the houses and stuff like that. No matter what he said factual, he had this dude running in the hole, and this dude, all he could do was sit up there and lie and just come up with more lies and stuff like that. He was no match. Tariq pretty much slaughtered him and whatnot. I get what you're saying, that he should have had he should have showed his mean streak maybe more or whatever. But I thought, just in terms of the information that was being, like I said, I didn't catch the space live. I caught it today. I caught it on YouTube. I thought, just in terms of the information that they were talking about, that it was like having a man against a boy in there. He wiped the floor with him. This dude sat up here and he lied about the civil rights movement. He lied about this. He lied about that. He just totally took everything that black people did in this country and tried to downplay it. He's sitting up here saying that you can't sit up here and hold the white supremacists in his group. You can't hold them accountable for anything because there's going to be a blowback, and basically it's going to be our fault. He's trying to say that that we're just as bad as these white supremacists out there saying this and that about Jewish people. You ain't never heard anything about black folks going out here and just attacking a bunch of Jewish people randomly. You never heard anything about them burning their businesses down. You never heard anything about them castrating people, lynching people, and this and that. You've never heard Jewish people say, oh yeah, them black folks just did this and did that to us. So he caught him in all kind of lies. He twisted him around like a pretzel. And I enjoyed listening to it last night because, like I said, he was so cerebral in his approach that he broke this dude down. He showed it, and like you say, maybe he did not see that he was putting a nigga this, nigga that in his little comment section. Because sometimes when you're holding these spaces, sometimes you can look at the comment section, and sometimes you like engulfed in the actual conversation. I'm sure he probably wasn't paying no attention, but I'm sure if he did, he probably would have said something about it. But this dude showed himself to be a complete coward last night. He was a rat. He ran. He lied. He set up here and he made all kind of excuses. Now all of a sudden, and this is what white supremacy do. Now all of a sudden, all these neo-Nazis and skinheads that have been abusing y'all for years, all of these white supremacists in this country, now as always, we got to put a black face behind the hatred now. So now Kanye West, whether I like Kanye now, and I'm not a Kanye fan, Kanye West all of a sudden is now, he's now the biggest problem in the Jewish community. Kyrie Irving sits up here and he tweets something out, and now Kyrie Irving is Hitler. I mean, man, if you don't go on with that nonsense and take that someplace else, Volvo, I see you got your hand up. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I appreciate you letting me speak, brother. Yeah, I just want to say, I caught part of it last night, and I caught the rest on YouTube today. Man, that shit was funny, man. That shit was hilarious. Like he used him as a punching bag. This guy literally in the middle of the debate admitting that he's Googling shit. He don't know what he's talking about, but that was good. That now that we know what they saying in private, ain't nobody getting the Jews to step up and say what they say in private. You know what I mean? So now we know what they talk about in private. Now we know how to defeat any argument that they come with. I'm glad he didn't get aggressive with them, or he didn't, name call or cap on them or nothing like that. That was a good thing. You want to know what these people are talking about. You know what I'm saying? And all the stuff that he was saying is just showing they fear. They fear. They afraid of something. They afraid of getting exposed. That's why they did all that shit to Kanye and to Kyrie and all of them, because they afraid of being exposed. If you listen to what the guy was saying, he's talking about all these tropes against Jewish people. Ain't nothing that Tariq said was even a trope. It was all facts. It was all true. It was all true. All he did was tell the truth on them. And for some reason, and that guy know what the truth is, but for some reason they don't want their truth out here. That tells you a lot about who these people is. When you tell the truth on them, they do everything in their power. They go DEFCON on you. Kanye talking about he going DEFCON. No, when you tell the truth on them, they go DEFCON. They pull every sneaky trick they got out. Now let me ask y'all the question, right? What are they hiding? It's got to be something they hide. Because nobody's saying kill Jews, do none of that. We just saying let's analyze the information. So what is they hiding?
You make a good point there, brother. One of our sisters, I know they saying that Peter is just a troll who comes into the spaces all the time just to mess up the conversation. And I'm not doubting that. We know that this guy's a troll and whatnot. But even through his trolling and whatnot, he still couldn't destroy the conversation. Like I say, he still was outclassed, and just in my personal opinion.
He was absolutely outclassed. That looked like an amateur versus professional. That was terrible. But I don't know. I never been in space with him. But that didn't look like he was trolling to me. It looked like he was trying to put up a real good fight. Trolls just say shit, just, they losing the argument, they frustrated. No, he was really trying to put up a fight. It's just, he had no real argument. Like, he's dealing with a scholar. He's a complete amateur. He's a complete amateur at this shit. He's dealing with somebody that really studies he's dealing with the guy that writes the textbook on this shit. Like, Tariq literally writes the textbooks on this type of shit. Like, he do movies that people watch all over the world. Like, he's like he's a real historian. This just some guy. So I mean, of course you're gonna do him bad. That was terrible. Though. I appreciate you letting me speak though, bro.
Oh, as always, no problem, man. No problem. Let me get to Minx, and then we're gonna get to Black Pressure and DJ. Let me know, because I think I want you to play around maybe the 24-minute mark, around that 24, 23-minute mark. I want to play some of that actual space from last night, just so people can hear a little bit of it, and then we could just go ahead and dissect it more as well. And like I said, I'm gonna also talk about the actual San Francisco. We got the San Francisco Bayview Black-owned newspaper. If you guys don't know, that's out there. It's San Francisco. It's the SFPD.com, San Francisco Bayview.com, Black-owned newspaper out there in San Francisco. And it's an article that they published saying that San Francisco will allow police to deploy robots that kill. So we want to also talk about that as well too. More militarized policing going on in Cali as always. So that's the budget. They get federal grants and stuff like that to help out and stuff like that as well too. So it never ends. It's a never-ending cycle of having the police militarized nowadays. But Minx, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hi, good evening, everybody. What that Peter was doing was what's called mental gymnastics. Because I have to tell you, they all do that. I've listened to some of the rabbis. This guy named Rabbi Harry, he does it. A few others I've listened to, and they move the goalpost every single time. And it's always if you ask for an answer, they never give it to you. And just like Tariq said, don't come here with that white, it's white and I say so, And he was, just kept saying he wasn't white. I just really wish Tariq would ask me, what box do you check on those forms? Because Jew is not on there. It really isn't. So, I think that when we're dealing with people like that, I think. Well, let me back up. What they're trying to do now is make us their enemy, because like the other young man said ahead of me, that there's something that they're hiding, and it's in that book, it's in that Hebrews to Negroes, and it's in that movie. And I don't understand what they're so angry about. Everything that they're claiming was a trope, an anti-Semite trope, was from their own people. Their own people were quoted. And so I don't know why they're so upset. They need to go after their own folks that are saying this stuff. But I think Tariq did a pretty good job. I just wish he would have kind of nailed them a little bit more, because they think they don't care about scholars. They don't care about how many degrees you have. It's I'm white and I say so. And they've been able to get away with it for centuries. So they're used to that. So when they run up against somebody like a Tariq, they try it and then they get exhausted, like he did, and said he had it's rough for him, so hard for him being a Jew. That's what he said. And I'll land there. Thank you.
And my girl Miss T said that he's not even a Jewish cat; that he's just a white supremacist troll who likes to go into these spaces and basically try to just cause confusion and try to get a little war and stuff going on. So that he's not even a Jewish cat from what she's saying. I don't think I've ever been in a space with this dude before or not, but that's not surprising either. Black Pressure, we're gonna go Black Pressure and Volvo.
All right, News. When I said earlier about Tariq took it easy on him, I wasn't saying that Tariq should have got involved in diatribe or any type of ad hominem attacks. He could have put that guy through the meat grinder and he's like you said, he still did a good job of being cordial and professional, but he still could have been professional and cordial and still ran him through the meat grinder, because Tariq asked him a specific question. He was like, well, you're not white. He was like, well, what are you? He said, he said something to the effect, is Jewish or race, and then he just backed off of it. I think, in my personal opinion, he should have ran him through the meat grinder because Jew is not a race, it's an ethnicity, and like you said earlier, News, you're still a white person. A Jewish person, you're Eastern European, you're still a white person. But as far as people saying, like, you know, what are they trying to hide? Not being disrespectful or condescending, this conversation isn't new about the European Jew and the real Hebrew. This conversation is older than anybody sitting in this room, is older than our parents, grandparents, and great-great-grandparents. It's just being recycled, you know, in the 21st century, and I'll land my plane there.
That's when you know you got power, when you can sit up here and you can be a white person and sit up here and tell other people not to call you white. That's how you know. That's how you know you really run shit right there. You white and you sitting up here telling everybody else, including other white people, not to call you white. That's how you know you really got things. That's how you know you really got a hold of things right there. Just as white.
That's what I was saying. Those, like, when Tariq set that trap for him, he didn't crush his skull. He just let him walk off.
Yeah, I would have loved for Tariq to say, "Well, are you black then?" Because you know he go, "Oh no, I'm not black." Well, are you Asian? Oh no, I'm not Asian. So okay, then you got to be white. Yeah, I wish he would have hit him with that as well too. But like I said, I thought that he still did an excellent job myself personally. I thought that he really he had this dude tongue tied, and this dude like the sister said that he's just a damn troll. He came in there just to cause confusion and chaos and whatnot. He couldn't academically compete with Tariq, so he's sitting up and all he could do was lie. He thought, well, let me go Google that. He said, well, go ahead and Google it. Go ahead and Google it and let me know. When he talked about he said, well, how many people? I think it was something about the amount of Jews that own slaves. And he talked about, well, you know, some of your people said that 78% of Jews own slaves. He like, do you agree with that? He's like, no, I don't agree with that. He was like, but you would say that Jewish people did own slaves. He talked about, yeah, it was three legal something. I think 3 on the book Jews that own slaves. Like, man, if you don't get out of here with that nonsense, it was only 3 Jews on the book that actually own slaves. A bunch of Jews that was in the South that owned slaves. Okay, let me get to Volvo. Go ahead, and then we're gonna get to Professor and Black Native.
Yeah, I just want to say this, right? You know, I'll be studying, right? So it made me think, right? When this guy does a throwaway tweet, Kyrie Irving did a throwaway tweet. He tweeted a movie that he found to be interesting, right? And they had a baby about that. They mad about that. That lets me know that they trying to hide something. Because Kyrie Irving got a big microphone. People gonna look at that movie. There's something in that movie that they don't want everybody to see. Because that was not, if they never made a big deal about it, right, it wouldn't be a big deal. They made a big deal about it. No, nobody ran out and watched the movie. They made people watch the movie because of how big of a deal they had about Kyrie tweeting the movie out. There's something in the movie that they don't want you to see. Now, I watched part of it. It's a hard watch because the way the guy speaks, I just can't really follow what he's, you know, I'm going to try and get back into it and watch the other half, but, you know, it's a hard watch for me because the narrator he just don't got a great speaking voice. But this is what I want to say. The only way to be a Jew, right, follow me for a second, is you have to come from the, it's 2 ways, right? You have to come from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's in the Bible, right? So we don't know. We ain't got no DNA on Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I don't know if somebody got it, but as far as I know, it ain't no DNA on them, right? Or you have to fit the curses of the Bible, right? Now, they don't want nobody to see that they don't fit the curses of the Bible. That's why if you notice the guy saying all these anti-Semites. Kyrie recommended the movie. The movie is saying from Hebrews to Negroes. It's showing how the people of the Bible, this is the ideology behind the movie, how the Hebrews in the Bible were turned into the Negroes today. Kanye said, black people are Jews. The Hebrew Israelites, because he kept saying these Hebrew Israelites are so anti-Semitic, they're saying that black people are the real Jews. So this makes me think that they understand that
if the Bible is true, we are the real Jews. Because why they fighting so hard to try to cover it up and to try to throw it away and all that? They understand that we the only people on the planet that fit the curses. They just don't want nobody to look into it. Everybody got a Bible. You might not believe in God, but I'm pretty sure if you Black American, you can go to grandma's house or you can go to mommy's house. And she got an old dusty Bible laying around. This Bible's right on our phone now, so you can go look it up for yourself. I invite you to do this. Go to Deuteronomy in the Bible and look up who do these curses fit, and that'll tell you if the Bible is true, who is the real Jew. I appreciate you letting me speak, bro.
No problem, man. Let me give a shout out to Aunt Lai. Aunt Lai, thank you for your contribution on Cash App, sister. As always, it's appreciated. Let's go ahead and get to I want to get to Professor. And matter of fact, let me get to because we got a new speaker, Professor. Let me get to Black Native first, and then I'll come back to you.
Yeah, that's fine. I was gonna tell you to go to Black Native anyway.
Black Native, unmute your mic, sister.
Peace, Newstoter. What's up, Ray? What's up, DJ?
Peace.
What's up?
I didn't watch. Well, I wasn't in the space actually with Tariq. I might go. Well, you're gonna play some of it, so I might go watch it. I just wanted to touch on. Y'all remember when Whoopi Goldberg said that it was white on white crime what Hitler did to the Jewish, Polish, German community, and she got suspended for 2 weeks because she actually said that these people were white and they looked white to her because they are white. And so I don't know what they're trying to pull as far as trying to tell us what we see with our own 2 eyes. Most of them are from Poland, Germany, from Europe, from Eastern Europe. So I don't know when all of a sudden they are non-white. Like we need some facts on that. And I just want to read something what the meaning of Semitic is, because see they don't want to bring the shit out. And I'm a Hebrew, so I'm an Israelite, been one for many, many, many years. That documentary that Ron Dalton did came out in 2018, and it was shown in movie theaters. They knew about it the whole time, and actually, some of the people that helped Ron Dalton write the documentary and a lot of the research were white Jews. So all of this fake outrage all of a sudden because Kyrie Irving just tweeted out a link. That's all bullshit. That's all propaganda, and it's a facade. But Semitic is relating to or denoting a family of languages that include Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic, and certain ancient languages such as Phoenician and Akkadian, constituting the main subgroup of Afro. Hear what I'm saying? Afro-Asiatic family. That's what Semitic. That's the definition of Semitic in the Webster's dictionary. But actually, it's Shemitic to be actually technical about it. But so, why are they saying that the group of people that are Semitic are Afro-Asiatic? I mean, it's easy to Google. It's not hard to find. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, all you got to do is, so when they say that black people or Afro-Asiatic or however they want to call it, people are anti-Semitic, that means you are anti yourself according to the definition in Webster's. So I just want to clear that up. And also Tariq had to do, I don't know if he did that, I don't know if he pulled that out. But you said the dude was a troll. So I just want to bring that out because this what I'm seeing now, what I'm starting to see is black people being labeled as anti-Semitic, anti-Asian, homophobic, and all these other names. So they're trying to put us in some type of group to say that black people hate everybody. We hate the LGBTQ, we hate Asians, we hate Jewish people, but we haven't bombed not near church, hung not near one person. I need facts. If anybody got facts out there, please pull them. We haven't flooded communities. We haven't tortured people. We haven't stolen land. We haven't done any of these things that they're now trying to label us as. And I just want to say one more thing. When I watched Roland Martin and he interviewed Richard Spencer, which was at the time was the head of one of the white supremacist organizations. Richard Spencer said, "Look, white people don't play fair. They don't care how they win as long as they win. So what they're doing is trying to gaslight us and paint this picture of black people as being a hate group or a group of people who are hating other groups of people, and we can't allow that because that's dangerous." And I'll go ahead and land my plane. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
As always, my pleasure, sister. Let me go ahead and get to Oh, Black Native, we got to mute. I hear that feedback. Let me go ahead and get to Professor. You go ahead, and then we're gonna get to Daughter Zion. Hey DJ, at the Daughter Zion, I want you to go ahead and play some of that actual. Do you have it set up? Okay. Yeah, I want us to hear a little bit of this actual for those who didn't hear it. Yeah. Oh Lord, that's all I'm gonna say. Professor, you got it.
Thank you, that Newstoter. And peace out to you there, brother Ray, DJ. Good to see you brothers up in this space, man. Bobo. And, what's up, man? And see my sister Tony down there. Miss T, Aunt Lie. Sister Trouble, always up in here causing some trouble. That's what I'm talking about. Much love to her. Much love to the sister, Only Male, Cruz. And good to see everybody up in here. Now, what I'm going to say about this, because I listened to some of that space this morning. I got a chance to kind of listen to a little bit of it. That person sounded like a troll. And it sounded like somebody that I have seen up in some of these spaces before, y'all. You just got to stay aware that these white supremacists are all over these spaces trying to stir up shit. And the guy that I was listening to, that sounded like a familiar person that's been in some other spaces that be trying to stir up shit in some of these black spaces. So just be aware of that. This Peter guy is not necessarily Peter. He goes by many different names, comes in many different forms. As a matter of fact, he comes in many forms. What does that remind you of?
Sound like the damn devil.
There you go. I want y'all to stay aware of that. I land my plane there, Black American family.
No doubt. Let me kick it to Let me go ahead and kick it to Daughter Zion.
Thank you. I'll just try to be real brief.
Check the new DM real quick. Sorry, daughter. Go ahead. Check the DM.
Okay.
I'll be brief. It's just that when other people are talking, then I remember things I wanted to say. And I was going to say that you guys are kind of answering your own question about what are they hiding. The movie pretty much is letting you know that it's identity. They don't want you to know who they really are because people are going to start investigating and reading. And, pretty much that's what's happened. And it happened because of the backlash. Now, if it would have been just kept quiet, they didn't get upset with Kyrie, I probably wouldn't even notice, right? Nobody would have. But because they made a stink and did what they did to Kyrie, then everybody wanted to know about the movie. It's been out for a while. And it's the identity of who they are. Because of who they claim to be is the reason that they have everything that they have. And I'm saying I've known this for a long time, but people didn't want to talk about it. And the reason that they are who they are and claim to be who they are is why they have what they have. They took an identity, yes they did, and were able to turn it into what it is today, control, being that chosen. I mean, who wouldn't be number one if you are the chosen? And, it's in Revelations 2:9, synagogue of Satan. It is there. And Noah had 3 sons after the flood. Shem, sorry about the Bible stuff, guys, but Shem, Ham, and Japheth. But you know who they never speak about? You never hear about Japheth. Who the heck is Japheth? Who came from there? Japheth is considered the father of the Isles of the Gentiles. And they know this. They are smart too. They have read the scriptures. They know what's in the scriptures inside and out. And have you heard of the Talmud and what the Talmud contains? It's the reason why black people are looked at negatively. They took the Ham curse story and flipped it. I'll say that right now, and then I'll go.
Right, sister. Appreciate that. Volvo, we're going to get to you in a second. We want to go ahead and play some of this clip real quick. Unless you're going to be pretty quick, then I'll go ahead and let you go ahead and get it in.
No, I want to hear the clip.
Okay. Well, yeah, DJ, go ahead and play about 10 minutes of it. We don't want to do overkill. Play 10 minutes of it. We'll go ahead and we'll discuss that. And then, if anybody wants to hear any more, then we can go ahead and hit it back on.
All right, family. This is right here, Tariq Nasheed, and call it Discuss Black and Jewish Relations. Let's go. And so we got to have some respect there. That's very important. Let me get some more people in here. Let's get Peter in here. Peter, I don't know why Peter had something Hitler name. Peter, hop on, brother. Hop on, Peter.
Oh, well, I just wanted to jump in. So I was able to partake in those last 2 debates and this whole thing that unfolded with Islam earlier today. And Wani and I had a pretty productive conversation. But one of the topics that I wanted to broach and maybe pick your brain about was just sort of the anti-Semitism that I've experienced, someone who's Jewish jumping in these spaces and trying to have a good faith, conversation. It seems like, yes, Islam does get attacked, but not nearly as much as Judaism does. I get worse treatment in the FBA space than I do, in a space with white nationalists. And I don't know exactly why.
How so? Okay, so how do foundational black religions treat you worse?
For instance, we were trying to have a good faith conversation, and Bonnie and I were going back and forth, and in the comments, I was getting tagged in these articles of, Hasidic rabbis giving herpes to children, during the performance of a circumcision. Like, oh, this is what you people do. All the slave ships that are Jewish, and just things that are, untrue. Because the whole thing with the circumcision thing, that was an isolated incident that happened amongst Hasidic Jews. Most Jews are not Hasidic. They're Jewish. No one really practices circumcision, and mainstream secular Jews and even Orthodox Jews have come out against that sort of stuff. So, trying to say, hey, this is normal, this is what everyone does, it creates this kind of narrative that these people are just disgusting, doing these kind of evil things. When in reality, that just doesn't reflect, what's really going on.
Okay, so because you had a conversation with like 1 or 2 people, you're equating that with black people.
No, I'm talking about more black American spaces, and I've been in tons of them. And most of these people, and like Monty knows me, and so does Sir Major, and I jump into a lot of these big spaces to sort of have these conversations, and it always just kind of turns into this diatribe of, oh, you're shutting down Kanye West, Kylie Irving, and Jews control the media, and Jews control this and that. They're against black people, and it's the same thing that sort of white nationalists do at the end of the day, and I have some opinions that they might not agree with. I think that Jewish people should be able to, have a say in, what a lot of these black celebrities that are pushing the anti-Semitic narrative are saying. I think that Jews should be able to step in to stop this because there are real ramifications, this sort of rhetoric in society. And, Wani didn't like the fact that I brought up the Charleston shooting and the massacre that happened, but, that's a result of what happens when you get this white nationalist rhetoric that spreads against them, like, they want to root for guns and shoot people, but, she forgot to mention that we had 5 synagogues that have been shot up since then in the country. One where you had over 20 people that were murdered in cold blood in Pittsburgh.
But these were white supremacists doing this. What did that have to do with white?
It has to do with the promotion of anti-Semitic rhetoric. So,
but are you saying that, wait, stop. Are you saying that white nationalists are doing it because of black people?
nationalists he's been in bed with Kanye West. Kanye West is he is black, whether you like it or not. He has one of the biggest platforms. He might not be popular in the black community, but
no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's just a popular black person. He doesn't have a big platform. Black people are not following him. But black people are not following.
So why is it that when I go to these NBA spaces, they're parodying the same talking points that Kanye West is discussing in the media? Like, if that's not the case, is there a disconnect there? Because they might, say, oh, I don't like Kanye personally, but the White Lives Matter shirt, antics, Trump, and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, they're saying the exact same stuff when it comes to anti-Semitism or quote-unquote Jewish power.
Okay, but the people who's actually committing these actionable offenses, you're not in their room. Black people are not shooting up synagogues. How come you're not in the white national?
I am some people who are really doing stuff. And what I do,
which ones?
Well, no, you can ask. You can talk to some of these people that run these spaces. They'll see me jumping into these white national spaces, and so that's just. I don't think that reflects reality. And I asked wanting to disavow anti-Semitism, and she did. But then when I tried to get Sermage and these other people to do it, they laughed at me. But black people, especially people.
Disavow it. Okay, disavow it.
You should disavow it. You have the biggest platform. And a lot of your followers, whether you like it or not, are people that call themselves publicly SBA people, are espousing anti-Semitic rhetoric. So why don't you take this moment now to disavow anti-Semitism?
But black people, you haven't shown where black people are practicing anti-Semitism and harming Jews.
I just gave you numerous examples of it.
No, you just said Kanye and some people in
Kyrie Irving.
I'm talking about
on every single.
What did Kyrie Irving do?
He shared a movie that has anti-Semitic conspiracy theories in it.
The History Channel does the same thing. So why are you not giving them for doing that?
Why am I not condemning the History Channel for sharing?
Yeah,
what anti-Semitic conspiracy theories is the History Channel sharing?
They promote Hitler stuff all the time.
They promote Hitler stuff all the time. I haven't seen any.
Yeah, they show movies about Hitler. They show movies about. Yeah, promote the movies about Hitler and documentaries about Hitler all the time.
Yeah, they discuss World War II all the time. They're certainly not promoting Hitler or the Holocaust. I would be shocked if there is, then if you want to send me an example or
they promote movies. Slow down. They promote documentaries with Hitler all the time. They promote the documentaries.
Yeah, but oftentimes, from what I've seen on the History Channel, those are documentaries that are critical of what the Nazis did, which is a good thing. People should know what happened in the Holocaust. But that's it.
Right.
I can't equate that with someone sharing a conspiratorial, documentary saying that like Jews are some shadowy group behind all these things, and Jews and white people are the same, which they're not. Religiously oriented.
Well, Kyrie didn't give an opinion one way or another. He just shared a documentary, just like the History Channel does. He didn't co-sign and say that it was right or wrong. He just shared it. So what was different from him and the History Channel?
Sharing it, like if I were to share like the greatest story never told,
to learn what people are saying out there, just like the History Channel. What's the point?
Because it's misinformation. It's anti-Semitic misinformation. There's nothing substantiated in that documentary. It's just filled with anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. So he obviously knows the
it's not. No. I watched a little bit of it, and it wasn't filled with anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. It wasn't.
Well, it
wasn't.
we can debate about.
It just wasn't.
Well, if you
just like you said, Kyrie Irving was anti-Semitic. Just like you said, Kyrie Irving was anti-Semitic. Wasn't.
He's sharing.
Now Kanye, that was anti-Semitic. What Kanye did, I don't co-sign what Kanye did at all. That was wrong. Saying I'm gonna go DEFCON 3 on the Jews, and no, that's not cool.
Yeah, but
Kanye is a bipolar.
I go into these FBA spaces, and every single time I go in there, it's automatically it's anti-Semitic rhetoric. It is rampant. And you might not see people who are a little bit more tame, when they're talking here. They want to be articulate. It's a bigger audience. You got 800 people here. But when it comes down to it, and you get into the actual trenches here, there is a ton of anti-Semitism. I could point out a myriad of accounts. I'm getting tagged in anti-Semitic posts right now. I have
show me anti-Semitism for black people.
I'm looking at the just Malcolm right now. It's at the height of American slavery. 78% of slavery.
Slow down. Show me some anti-Semitism for black people. beyond them just saying something you don't like.
Well, you certainly don't believe that 78% of slave owners were Jewish, now do you?
No, I don't. But there were Jewish slave owners. You do acknowledge that, right?
There were. Just like there were white ones, but they were a minority. You know.
What do you mean a minority? What do you mean?
If 78% of Jews were slave owners, then
Let's get off the 78%. No, stop. Let's get off the 78% thing. We don't have to throw a percentage out there, but you do acknowledge that there were Jewish slave owners.
Yes, there's three of them, three actual people that are documented owning slaves.
Name them.
I could Google them right now, but from what I understand, there's three of them.
Google them. Google them. Let me hear this, because what you said is emphatically false.
Well, if I Google it, it's not even going to show anything. Let's see here. Let's see. Jewish people who owned slaves.
To sit here and say there were three Jewish slave
That's
owners.
what I read on there. There was three actual documented Jewish slave owners. And I'm talking about people that actually owned agricultural slaves. I'm sure that you could find an instance of, someone up north who had one slave or two slaves that helped.
Oh, good. Third, please don't try to move the goalposts. Please don't try to move the goalposts. Are you going to sit here and talk about anti-Semitism and then sit here and do what's the equivalent of Holocaust denying by saying that there were only...
That is so anti-Semitic. You're talking about the systematic genocide of 6 million.
Sitting here saying that there were only 3 Jewish slave owners, that's disrespectful, and that's historically completely inaccurate, and you know that. So denying that the anti-Black racists within white Jewish society practice anti-Black racism, that's like people denying the Holocaust. So you can't sit here and deny and get mad at one group who you allegedly say denied the Holocaust, and then you deny another Holocaust. You understand?
Well, but you're denying the Holocaust by equating it to something like that.
How am I denying the Holocaust?
You're using the Holocaust like the word as a verb. You're talking about the systemic genocide of 6 million people simply because of the fact of their ethnicity and religion.
And you're sitting here pretending that anti-Black white supremacists within Jewish society did not exist by saying only 3 participated in the slave.
There was a small majority of them at the time.
But to say that that's so disrespectful, that's anti-Black racism.
Do you think that Jews have reconciled with their past along with the slavery? Do you think that Jews have made up for that, for their wrongs and their misgivings?
What, against Black people?
Yes.
How?
Well, let's look at the relationship between Jewish, influence within, the civil rights movement. I mean, we've been hand in hand trying to deal with white supremacy and, and racism. So I don't understand, the sort of,
Really?
Well, I mean,
really?
What do you mean, really?
What are you talking about, sir?
Jewish people have had a hand in hand with the civil rights movement. Jewish people, especially secular Jewish people like myself, have been at the forefront of promoting equity and diversity and challenging white supremacy. There has been no proof that it's challenged white supremacy, especially white Anglo-Saxon Protestant power in this country. The only power block of any sort of significance that's actually limited white Anglo-Saxon power in this country has been Jews and Jewish influence within this country. And if it wasn't for Jews and Jewish influence, we'd still be living in Jim Crow. And that is a fact. That is an undeniable fact.
How? Prove it. I'm asking you how you're saying something. Man, you said so much. Let me give me a sip of water. We're going to be here for a minute. I want to hear this. How did y'all do that?
Where exactly would you like to start?
Let's start. Hell. The Jim Crow era. When did you stop white supremacy? Well, hell, let's go to slavery. Since you said that there were only 3 slave owners.
Well, I mean, we can talk about that. I mean, let's look at all.
Let's get into.
Let's start with the civil rights movement.
Okay, let's go all the way. Let's take it all the way back. Let's move from slavery to the civil rights. If you say that you stop white supremacy, the second in command with the Confederacy was Judah P. Benjamin, who was a major slave owner down in New Orleans. He was Jewish.
He wasn't even a practicing Jew.
Stop it. Yes, he was. Why would you tell that lie? Yes, he was.
No, I don't believe that he was a practicing.
Yes, he was. That's why they knew he was Jewish. He let them know he was a practicing Jewish person. Yes, he was. So you have to practice it in order to be it? What do you say?
Well, yes and no. I mean, that's a complicated question.
No. Yes and no. What do you mean yes and no? You were like Jews ain't white and all of that stuff. So what are you talking about? Either are you ethnically Jewish or is it a religion? What are you talking about?
There's both, right? So there is an ethnic component to it. That's where, like, Wani and I were talking about this earlier, where the whole Black Israelite thing gets mixed up, where you have a lot of Black Americans that purport to be Black Israelites because of one particular tribe that existed in Africa that could trace their lineage and their blood back. And so we've delved into this. I mean, I don't know.
Let's delve into it now because we got a lot to talk about. Okay, so what makes a white person Jewish?
What makes a white person Jewish? I'm of the belief that there's an ethnic component associated with Judaism. We are a matriarchal religion that's passed down genetically. You can convert to Judaism. It takes 3 years to do so, but I'm not a huge fan of that. That's more of something that Christians kind of came up with. Whereas Jews is something we've tried to sort of protect the ethnic side of who we are.
Because you're all over the place. So Black people, why is it a problem when Black people claim a Jewish lineage?
If they do have a Jewish lineage, there is not a problem with that. The problem is that most of these Black Hebrew Israelites in the United States cannot trace their lineage back to that actual tribe in Africa, which Wani can jump in and Wani, you have a mic right now. I don't remember the exact name of the tribe, but I remember you vividly bringing up this point not more than 90 minutes ago when we were in space together.
But the Black people over in Israel, they can trace their stuff back and they get discriminated against by the white Jews. So what's going on with that?
Well, what specific? What are you talking about specifically? There was one shooting
What do you mean
that happened.
specifically? No.
What you mean they're discriminated against? I mean, give me a specific instance, right?
Sir, they were over there sterilizing Black women who were Jewish over there. I mean, the list goes on and on. Brutalizing the Black people who were Jewish over there in Israel, kicking them out, not allowing some of them in there. The word is you're supposed to be Jewish. Everybody who's Jewish is supposed to come over there. But then
if you can do a genetics test and you can trace it back, a lot of the Africans that were trying to immigrate into Israel were economic immigrants, had no blood connection to the tribe whatsoever. And
that sounds like how white not say so. That's how white not say so. That sounds like how did they know that they didn't have any? They didn't do genetic testing on all of those people. Stop that. They did not go around doing
genetic testing. Now, you're talking about thousands, nearly 1 million people that tried to come to the country all over.
Right. So how are you going to say that they're not Jewish if you didn't do any DNA test on them?
Well, it's not that we didn't do any. It's just that we weren't able to do DNA testing on all. I think there was almost.
Boy, man, you all over the place, dude.
There was genetic testing.
No, there wasn't. They didn't do genetic testing on those people. They were like, y'all too Black, y'all can't come over here. That was the genetic test.
That's not Black. That's an anti-Semitic trope. That's what a lot of the Free Palestine people were to say.
What are you talking about? This stuff is in the news. Stop, sir. You're being very deceptive and anti-Black by sitting here denying the anti-Black racism. You can pull up articles about all the discrimination that the Black Jewish people go through in Israel now. What are you talking about? Like, that's you know, and I might not say so.
I don't think so. I'm not saying that there isn't discrimination against Black people in Israel. There is, especially with Hasidic Jews who, are can be racist. And the Hasidic Jews have the same issue in New York City, and it does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it's not nearly at the same rate as white supremacy that happens here in the United States.
We didn't ask you. We didn't ask you that. There's some racism. We hate the Negroes here, but it ain't as bad as in the United States. That's not nothing to pop. That's nothing to pop your collar to. All right, that's not anything to pop your collar to. You seem like you have a problem with acknowledging the anti-Black sector within white Jewish society. So why is that?
The problem with going down that path and making that acknowledgement is it opens Jews up to criticism from white supremacists who are going to use it as a way to turn Black people against Jewish people and
But why practice and why sit here and allow because why sit here and allow yourself and people in your group to practice vile anti-black racism for decades and decades and decades? Why? And we can't say nothing because the white supremacists might turn on you. That's your answer? So we should just be cool with you practicing anti-black racism?
No, that's not it, but it should be checked internally because when you open that up, you're going to get a situation. What happens when anti-Semitism is able to run rampant? You had what happened where you had 6 million.
But you don't check black people internally, sir. Black people who say something you don't like, you make a spectacle out of them, like Kanye, like Tariq, and you open them up to anti-black racism, sir. What are you talking about?
But that's to stop anti-Semitism. So
how we gonna what we gonna do to stop anti-black racism? How are we gonna stop anti-black racism that also comes from your community too? How do we stop that? Because talking internally ain't it.
Well, then how else do you want to do it? You want to have people like Kanye? Is that what you want?
Kanye ain't got nothing to do with this conversation.
So, you just brought him up. Can we have?
I brought him up because you brought him up. I brought him up because you were talking about we need to. If we're going to criticize the anti-black racists within Jewish society, let's do it quietly. Let's do it internally. But if a black person said something you don't like, then you got to make a big old spectacle out of it. It ain't internal. You make an example out of them. But we can't criticize your racism? No,
I'm not saying that can't be criticized, but can you do it without having anti-Semitism? I mean,
what do you mean anti-Semitism? No. How is he criticizing you? So are you saying cult? All right, family, we're gonna pause right there for a moment.
Yeah, because I know we had a couple people that want to go in. Volvo, Black Native, is Black Native still up? She must drop down a listener, but if she wants to come back up, she can come ahead and request to speak again. But Volvo, go ahead and unmute your mic. And yeah, we just hit a nonsense. This dude was talking.
Yeah, can y'all hear me? I just switched systems.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, yeah. See, that's what I was saying earlier. In the conversation, they mentioned that you don't do a DNA test. They ain't doing a DNA test because nobody ain't got no DNA on Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So the only way that we can tell who the Jews is, it even say this in the Bible, you can read it for yourself, is that according to the Bible, the Jews will fit certain curses. That's how you would know who they are. Nobody else in the world would fit these curses. The real Jew would fit these curses. So he just admitted that they not doing DNA tests. So the only way that we will be able to tell is we can look at the world and see who fit these curses. That's just a simple question that nobody ever asked them. Like, well, why y'all don't fit the curses? You can't tell me that you fulfill the prophecy of this book and you don't fit the curses. You don't fit the description. That's just a simple answer. I mean, a simple question. Now, he want to make it seem like it's so tough to be a Jew, to be a Jewish person. Let me correct myself, to be a Jewish person. Most Jewish people, you are white. Now, in this world is taught to hate black people. Everybody teach it. Asians teach it, white people teach it, Africans teach it, Latinos teach it, Arabs teach it. Nobody teaches hate white people. Now, let me just point out some prominent Jews that we can see. Everybody can see. Adam Silver. He's Jewish. What color is he to you? If you seen him on the street, you would interact with him as a white man. Howard Stern is he's white. You would interact him with a white man. You would interact with him as a white man. Adam Sandler, he's white. Sarah Silverman, she's white. These are white people that if you seen them, they would have to announce to you and tell you that they are Jewish. They would have to put on a small hat and a whole uniform, that black shit they be wearing, that whole uniform. They would have to have a big long beard, all that, for you to really recognize
that they are Jewish and you're supposed to discriminate against them, because nobody discriminates against white people. They look white. They gotta literally wear a sign saying that I'm Jewish, or you would never know. So I just wanted to point that. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to point out, right? I was looking this shit up. If they really are the original people of the land of Israel, because that's what this is about, right? Why are they over there leading the world in skin cancer? If you're supposed to be in that, obviously the land don't even agree with you. Nothing agrees with you. So what Tariq always is saying that they say I'm white and I say so. The land don't agree with you, but they don't even give a fuck. They telling the land I'm white and I say so. I'm supposed to be right here because I'm white and I say so. I'm white and I say I'm a Jew, so I'm a Jew. Even though I don't fit the description, I'm white and I say so. It's just not making sense, and that's what they're afraid of. They getting exposed. I keep saying this all the time, y'all. Right, I'm close to this. We in a time of revelation. We in a time of people revealing themselves. Everybody is showing who they are. It's undeniable. You can just see it now in real time. I appreciate you. Let me speak, bro.
Oh, no problem, brother. As always, you're welcome to get the mic in here. So appreciate having you again. Black Native, sister, go ahead and unmute your mic. I know you got something you want to say. Black Native, you there? Give her 1 second. She could be in the Matrix. Black Native. She got her hand up. Sometimes in these apps, people have their hands up and they get stuck in the Matrix. So I'm not sure if Black Native is there or not. We'll come back to you again, sister. Hopefully we get everything cleared and you can come back. Trouble, you just requested to come up. I don't know if you want to speak right now. You want to wait a second or?
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing?
How you doing?
Doing all right. I came into space a little bit late, but right in time to hear this bull sniggity that y'all got playing on the air. You know what I'm saying? I find it highly, it's the audacity. The whole I'm white and I say so. He had nothing important to say. And everything he sounded like, he said sounded like an excuse for basically, we don't want you Negroes finding out who you really are, and we don't want you speaking on us because the truth hurts. The truth is hurting us. Please stop telling the truth. But in order for me to tell you stop saying the truth, I got to make it appear as if you're telling a lie. That is hurting us. Please quit doing it. And that's what they've been doing this whole entire time. They overplayed their hand. They want to be in charge and be the I'm white and I say so far so hard that when they went in this last time on Kyrie, they should have stopped at Kanye. If they would have never, I wasn't following Kyrie. I wasn't thinking about Kyrie. They made me follow Kyrie. They made me go to the website and see what the hoopla was about. They made me order the book. Thank you, Jewish people. Jewish meaning something like, something not really, kind of, sort of. I wish I was, but I know I ain't. Ish people. I'm about it. It's so funny. In his whole argument, then later on, Sir Major had posted up where Peter was all in people's inboxes, being anti-black. He was inside of his group telling the people, some stuff. DJ, I don't know if you got that little clip of that either. With Peter being inside a little group talking about he was going to do A, B, and C and then delete his account afterwards. Because
I saw some of that on Joker's Bazaar, screenshotting it and tweeting it. I saw some of it.
Yeah, you caught up in the trick bag, like Tariq loved to say, you caught up in the trick bag, I just really find it funny. And he couldn't refute anything. And it was, oh my God, it's really just amazing. It's really not a whole lot to say, because if you're listening to what he's saying everything that he just said it all. Really, he said nothing, and he said it all at the same time. We don't want you black people talking about us. And yes, we're racist against you all. No, we're not going to speak out against our people. And we want you all to tell your people not to speak out against us. And we want you to do it loudly. But we're not going to tell our people not to be anti-black towards us. Yes, we're going to punish you Negroes when you do it, and we want you to punish your people too. We want everyone to punish you people, but no one is allowed to punish us. No one is allowed to check us. No one is allowed to tell us, because it's anti-Semitic for you to tell me to check my own people. I'm going to land right here, because baby, Lord, Deuteronomy 28, y'all, look up them curses and see who the hell it fits. It do not fit them. Everything Deuteronomy 28 says that that was going to happen to the people is us. And besides, when the Most High said, it's a part in there about who the true Jews was, they were not rich people. They weren't rich people. Are we rich? Have we got us ching-ching yet? Have they given us our reparations? Who got all the money? Who got all the media? Who got all of everything? It ain't us.
Real talk. We the poorest people on the face of the earth. We were the richest people on the face of the earth until we came in contact with a certain group of people who shall remain nameless. But that's another story for another time. I see I got my girl Ree up here. Ree, what's going on? How you doing tonight, sister? Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, everyone. Hey, DJ. Hey, Ray. Newstoter. Hi, all my brothers doing.
How you doing?
All my brothers, Black Press, everybody up on stage, Volvo and Trouble. She always bring the fire. And I want to say daughter brought the fire too. I actually sat and I watched the entire Hebrews to Negro movie, documentary, excuse me. And I think, Robert Dalton Jr., if he gets a chance to really get some heavy production behind the film, especially with the next up and coming, I think, series he's getting ready to put out with a couple of books that have been out that he's going to turn into film. I think it'll be very edifying. The only thing in the film that he does admit openly is that the quote from Hitler, it even states in the film that it was alleged to be said, and it was a quote from a couple of tyrants who were, killing Ashkenazi and Sephardi Jewish people. And let's be honest, he mentioned the ethnicity piece, and that's the piece that this person was trying to get, not allow Tariq to get to, as far as questioning him in his point. And all I heard was a round and round of circles. And so when Tariq was pressuring him and saying, well, what about these things? And how come you don't go after the History Channel? And the History Channel is for education. He said, well, isn't the Hebrews to Negroes for education too? And he was like, no, it's anti-Semitic. And he said, well, in what way? And he could not regurgitate in what way. And that's the part that they will not admit to. They won't tell you what's anti-Semitic. They'll say, if you mention the term or the word Jewish or Ashkenazi or Sephardi in the historical reference to religion, then they'll start to say, oh, that's anti-Semitic. But I really think, one, that to me should be defamation or some lines of a lawsuit, because at this point you're stating that any type of research historically that involves Europeans from different countries who are proven and documented to have done atrocities, we can't explore their history because they don't want their image tainted. But the image has already been tainted, and they are the ones who did it, like Trouble said. They are the ones who allowed this. They're the ones who sent the ADL after Kyrie Irving, and the ADL in the beginning, as well as the NBA, whoever was over that debacle of saying that he needed to give the ADL $500,000. That is extortion for a 501c3 company. And when it got out to the public, because they were probably hoping that they could do it under wraps. That's probably what they were hoping that would happen. But that shit got out in public. And that's probably what the ADL has been doing this entire time. Hence the reason why I'm on my backup page, because I put out the change.org so that people would actually go and sign it and get the petition to have the ADLU investigated by the Department of Civil Rights and the MBA investigated by the EEOC chair, because what they did to a United States citizen, I don't care that he's a basketball player and makes millions of dollars. I don't care that he posted Hebrews to Negro. He is a United States citizen who literally was attacked by means of an organization who is not a federally funded organization. They are a 501c3 charter. They need to lose their charter. All kinds of lawsuits need to be happening, and I really do hope, in the grand scheme of things, Kyrie Irving is seeking all his just due, because, and I'm going to tell you this, these are the people who are claim that they don't believe the three families that own slaves in the United States. Well, three European families aren't the families that migrated to the United States. It was actually over more than that. It was more than that. That's why Martin Luther King said that the United States, the two Americas, was willing to undergird even its white peasants to bring immigrants in from Europe. So, again, it was really just, they tell on themselves. And then the fact that he was using he said black people are the reason why supremacists would go after the synagogues. I'm sitting here like, wow, this is recorded. This is recorded. And no one is going after him. That's just as bad as Charles Barkley talking about some black people are the only group of people that attack the LGBT community. You see the correlation, how they try to set it up. So I just, we need to keep talking about it. We need to keep shaming them into the light, because they are the fabric of when we are going to get our debt. And I can't wait till we actually pay us our check, so that we can go on about our business. And the moment we do that, I hope this is a green light for everybody to make sure that you box out and you keep these MFers out of our community, period.
Real quick, Reed, did they take because some of the people on the YouTube were saying that they took down Ron's YouTube channel. Does anybody know if that's true or not, or accurate?
Yeah, he said it. You talking about Ronald Dalton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it. He said that they took his channel down, but Amazon has not taken the book and the video down. So at the end of the day, of course, YouTube can do whatever they want. They're different, entities and companies, right? But how we respond, and this is the part where I do agree with Lloyd, we need to be doing something about it, meaning that there has to be a collective effort to move off the platforms and how we actually engage. I should say, not necessarily like leave, but leave to the point where you're not even engaging. You're engaging on Black platforms like social, like Fanbase. And I think there's somebody else is, I think, building another platform.
I think got6zeros.net.
Oh, 6 zeros. So there's another one too. So there's 6 zeros, and I think I saw someone sent me a message in my main account and was asking me to create a profile, but I can't get back into it right now. So When I can, or if eventually I'm able to, I will post it on my timeline and let everybody know. But we need to actively be active on Black platforms, Black-owned platforms, and allow these chips to fall where they may, period. And that goes with all industries. So, yeah.
By the way, I really like the profile picture you got there as well, too.
Oh, thank you.
So,
everybody doing a little character face. I said, well, let me get mine.
yeah, that's a nice, pretty little character there. So I have to give you a shout out on that. Let me, guys, real quick, because I don't, Vovo, I'm going to come right back to you. So I don't want anybody to lose their train of thought, but I just want to give y'all just a quick news breakdown of what's going on in San Francisco from the San Francisco Bayview. It's a Black-owned newspaper out there in San Francisco, one of our curation partners. It's titled, San Francisco will allow police to deploy robots that kill. Real quick, I'm just going to cover this and we get back to the Tariq thing because everybody is on fire with this, so I don't want to get off of that topic as well, but I just want to let you guys know that this is going on. It's also in the Jumbotron as well, too, in case you want to click it. Y'all can go ahead and retweet it or whatever. It says supervisors in San Francisco voted Tuesday to give the city police the ability to use potentially lethal remote control robots in emergency situations following an emotionally charged debate that reflected divisions on politically liberal board over support for law enforcement. The vote was 8-3, with the majority agreeing to grant police an option despite strong objections from civil liberties and other police oversight groups. Opponents said the authority would lead to the further militarization of police force already too aggressive with poor and minority communities. Supervisor Connie Chan, a member of the committee that forwarded the proposal to the full board, said that she understood concerns over the use of force, but that according to state law, we are required to approve the use of these equipments. So here we are, and it's definitely not an easy decision. The San Francisco Police Department said it does not have pre-armed robots and has no plans to arm robots with guns, but the department could deploy robots equipped with explosive charges to contact or disorient violent, armed, or dangerous suspects when lives are at stake. San Francisco Police Department spokesman Allison Maxey said in a statement, robots equipped in this manner would only be used in extreme circumstances to save or prevent further loss of innocent lives, she said. Supervisors amended the proposal Tuesday to specify that officers could use robots only after using alternative force or de-escalation tactics or concluding they would not be able to subdue the suspect through those alternative means. Only a limited number of high-ranking officers could authorize use of robots as deadly force option. San Francisco police currently have a dozen functioning ground robots used to help with bombs or provide eyes in low visibility situations. The department says they were acquired between 2010 and 2017. Not once have they been used to deliver an explosive device, police officials said. But explicit authorization was required after a new California law went into effect this year, requiring police and sheriff's department to inventory military-grade equipment and seek approval for their use. The state law was authorized last year by San Francisco City Attorney David Chu while he was an assembly member. It is aimed at giving the public a form and voice in the acquisition and use of military-grade weapons that have a negative effect on communities, according to the legislation. A federal program has long dispensed grenade launchers, camouflage uniforms, bonnets, armed vehicles, and other surplus military equipment to help local law enforcement. In 2017, then President Donald Trump signed an order reviving the Pentagon program after his predecessor, Barack Obama, curtailed it in 2015, triggered in part by outrage over the use of military gear during the protests in Ferguson, Missouri after the shooting death of Michael Brown. San Francisco police said late Tuesday that no robots were obtained from military surplus, but some were purchased with federal grant money. Like many places around the U.S., San Francisco is trying to balance public safety with treasured civilian rights such as privacy and the ability to live free of excessive police oversight. In September, supervisors agreed to a trial run allowing police to access in real time private surveillance camera feeds in certain circumstances. Debate on Tuesday ran more than 2 hours with members on both sides accusing the other of reckless fear-mongering. Supervisor Raphael Mandelman, who voted in favor of the policy authorization, said he was troubled by the rhetoric painting the police department as untrustworthy and dangerous. I think there's a larger question raised when progressives and progressive policies start looking to the public like they're anti-police, he said. I think it is bad for progressives. I think it is bad for this board of supervisors. I think it's bad for Democrats nationally. Board President Shaman Walton, who voted against a proposal pushback, said it made him not anti-police but pro-people of color. We continuously have been asked to do things in the name of increasing weaponry and opportunities for negative interaction between the police department and people of color, he said. This is just one of those things. The San Francisco Public Defender's Office sent a letter Monday to the board saying that granting police the ability to kill community members remotely goes against the city's progressive values. The office wanted the board to reinstate language barring police from using robots against any person in active force. On the other side of the San Francisco Bay, the Oakland Police Department has dropped a similar proposal after public backlash. The first time a robot was used to deliver explosives in the U.S. was in 2016 when Dallas police sent an armed robot that killed a hold-up sniper who had killed 5 police officers in the ambush. Okay, so you guys can check that out. That's in the Jumbotron, and that was curated on the Newstoter.com platform. We can go ahead and get back to how things was. Volvo, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I want to touch on both topics real quick. The sister said earlier, they don't want us talking about it, talking about asking about, talking about the damn. I kind of lost my train of thought. Talking about about the Jewish thing, whatever. That's because we got the biggest microphone throughout the world. Everybody looking at us. Everybody all over the world is looking at us. Trust me. Everybody in the world is looking at Black America. If we raise a Black Power fist, they raise a Black Power fist when they got a struggle. If we dress a certain way, they dress a certain way. If we make rap music, they love rap music. If we wear our hair a certain way, they wear their hair a certain way. If we call ourselves nigga, they call themselves nigga. So everybody in the world is looking at us. So if we ask questions, that's gonna make them ask questions. And then we're going to get to the bottom of it, who is who. They, like one of the other sisters said earlier, they want to hide their identity. That's what this is about. Who are they? They don't want the world asking that question. Who is these people? I'm going to leave that alone. As far as the robot thing, that ain't really nothing new. If you pay attention, them robots ain't nothing but drones. They fight with drones now. They got drones. That's a thing. They got drones. They blowing all that shit up over there in the Middle East. They blow all that shit up with drones. The drone ain't nothing new. You gotta be careful. We've been watching this shit for a while now. I don't know if y'all be on YouTube, but it be white boys. They be mounting AR-15s on drones. What's to stop one of them from flying an AR-15 drone through your neighborhood? And if they walk into a supermarket and shoot you down in the supermarket, why wouldn't they mount an AR-15 on the drone? This ain't nothing new. They've been setting this up. So those robots ain't nothing but drones, and that's something shit. We got to get into the drone game. We need to learn we need some niggas that know how to work drones shit, because this shit here now. And they gonna use it, and we gonna be the ones they use it on. I appreciate y'all letting me speak.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anybody else, any of the listeners that want to come up and speak as well too and express your opinions, the microphone is open. So I know we have quite a few comments and stuff in the comment section as well too. So anybody that wants to come up here and speak, by all means, you can go ahead and get the microphone. You can request to come up here and speak, and we will allow you to speak. Black Pressure, and then Ray. Matter of fact, Ray, you want to go ahead and say something real quick?
I was just gonna touch on those robots, man, because the first person that was blown up with Michael Johnson, which was, I want to say, you said Texas. I forget what year it was, but this stuff, like you said, this isn't nothing to play with. I remember talking about this years ago because I seen this robot, and the way they passed the robot off, the robot was like a head, doing flips and tricks. And there's actually videos of these robots that teach them how to dance. They're dancing to that song. They they're dancing to it, and people are like, I'll say to myself, I'm thinking this isn't cute at all. This is potentially actually dangerous. And now look what we got now. I mean, if you just have robots that can go in and just blow people up, how is that even constitutional? Why don't I get my day in court to defend myself? You know, just things like that. Like you just blowing people up. This has got to be unconstitutional. But then again, like one of the other sisters said earlier, this is about survival for them. They don't care how they win as long as they win.
All righty. We had somebody that was trying to request. Let's go ahead and get the Black Pressure. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I wanted to move to the robot topic. I know I said this earlier. I think Volvo touched on it too. This not really new. I know a lot of people might not see the correlation, but those of us, really everybody in the room, we live with technology every day. Just like you know, you could say, "Hey, Alexa, you know, play, you know, Mariah Carey or whatever." And like I said, I've made the statement before, begging my son to get in it. All those robots that's artificial intelligence. That's all that is. And you have seen, like I said, you've seen it. They've introduced it to us slowly. Like I said, with Alexa, with your cell phone, which, you know, my mom has a smart TV. You see it with that, and that's all those dogs are, artificial intelligence. So I'm gonna say it again, to kind of moving the goalposts. If we can, because I'm begging my son right now, let's get our babies into the field of artificial intelligence, and you gotta learn a couple of computer programs. Let's get our children into that, because like Ray said, they're moving into a phase. You don't have to shoot us anymore. You know, you don't have to send in a SWAT team. They literally can kill us with artificial intelligence, and I'll land my plane.
Yeah, no, right, brother. People think these robots are so cute till you realize that these robots can run without getting tired.
Yeah, and real quick, news to touch on what Ray said. The robots running without getting tired. They're actually not all of them, but I've seen some of them. They run off GPS. Them some bitches can run from one end to the United States to the other and chase you. You're not gonna win that battle. So.
Oh shit, that's a pretty smart move on the police part. That's why they got him. You know who's gonna be the target, and like you said, Ray, he was, to my knowledge, the black dude that was up there picking the people off and stuff. The police, he was the first one that they used it on. So we can pretty much imagine when they're programming them, what actual image they actually putting into their actual memory and whatnot, who the actual person is going to be, what color they're going to be. Just like when they had these police officers using target practice and they had these black pictures up there and stuff like that, pretty much got an idea who's it going to be. Volvo, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Oh yeah. I don't know if y'all seen Bug Breaking, but I remember it's been a while since I've seen it. It's been like a few months, but wasn't at the end of Bug Breaking they were saying something about humanoid? That was the end game for this shit, like
transhumanism.
Transhumanism, yeah. Some shit like what's going on now. This shit like when the brother brought up Alexa, yeah, that's real. They in your house now. They in your house. They can turn your mic on and listen to Alexa. What's to stop them from blowing up your cell phone? Making something mandatory in all cell phones to where I can blow this bitch up if I got to. Like just blow it up while it's in your pocket or blow it up while it's on you and use that. Oh, he was violent. That's why we had to stop him. Because he was violent, so we had to blow his cell phone up. They in your pocket now. Like this shit is really serious. I don't know. Maybe I'm going left, but that brother when he said Alexa, yeah, that make a lot of sense because niggas use Alexa. I use Alexa all the time. Like, hold on, like who am I talking to? I'll land there, bro. I appreciate you letting me speak.
No problem, no problem. You guys, in the Jumbotron, you will find a Newstoter YouTube channel on there, as well as a newsletter. Please go ahead and subscribe to the actual YouTube channel and also subscribe to the newsletter. Help us grow, help us get a wider base so we can spread the content more to our people. we were talking we were talking about the San Francisco killer robots, and of course we were talking about the actual interaction that happened yesterday between Tariq Nasheed and a supposedly Jewish man. From what everybody's saying, that they don't even believe this cat is Jewish, that he just a white supremacist troll just coming to these spaces just to cause hell and cause a fallout or whatever. So anybody that's as a listener or speaker that wants to speak, just go ahead and raise your hand. We want to hear everybody's opinion, thoughts on it as well. So please, if you have something that you'd like to add to the conversation, those are the two topics. You can talk about either one. We don't care. I don't care what anybody wants to talk about. Just these two topics are what we're talking about tonight. So if you guys got something you want to add to the discussion, by all means, please raise your hand. Come on up here. We will definitely give you the mic. You're free to go ahead and express yourself and say what you feel. So also support us on Cash App, largest black news curation platform today in America. That's $Newstoter, $Newstoter. DJ, I hadn't heard from you for a minute. What's going on, man?
Everything good, family. Just over here tweeting in the background like I normally do. Tech support gang. You know what I'm saying? What's good, y'all?
Oh, nothing too much, man. And I wonder what these killer robots and stuff. We see that they say you got in Oakland, they shot it down or whatever. But I wonder how soon before it's going to be in the city near all of us, because this could be the wave of the future in terms of policing. So you don't have to pay. All you got to do is fix these things. You don't have to worry about retirements and them getting killed and this and that. So this is going to be the wave of the future coming at us. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, Newstoter, this is the wave of the future. They told us a long time ago that robotics was the way to go, which is what I've been talking to my kids about. I know I have a couple of them wanting to go into engineering. One wants to do computer forensic, and one unsure. And I'm trying to push him towards robotics. I'm trying to push all of them to try to touch base on this robotics thing a little bit, because they're going to need machine learners. You need to, got to teach the machines, and so that's going to be pretty heavy in the future. One thing my mom used to tell me, and my mom passed in 90, I believe she passed in 91. And one thing she told me as a little girl was, watch what these crackers do inside their movies. Whatever it is they doing inside their movies, you can never more believe they already got it or they working towards getting it. And that's when we were sitting down watching Star Wars. She had already predicted this. My mom, God bless her, man, I miss my mom because she was so prophetic in so many ways with the things that she used to say in relation to, these pale people. You watch their movies. It was a movie that came out a few years ago. Yeah, that's a little pepper on top of that. Sorry.
Hey, Trouble, can I jump in? I just want to tell you that I hate you right now because you took all my damn talking. I don't even like you right now.
But Black Pressure is the truth. You remember a few years ago, what was that movie that came out? Super 8? Wasn't it called Super 8? Where they
I saw it. Yeah. So.
And the police in the spaceship, but they were robots and they were jumping down from, from whatever that little ship was. And I was thinking, when Trump had came out, I said, ooh, there go the Space Force right there.
Hey, Trouble, since you took my talking points, let me tell you what I was going to say. I'm going to show my age for a second. You remember the movie RoboCop?
Yeah, stop.
Okay, now we all know that I'm talking the original, and I think Garbage they remade like 20 years later. But if you remember RoboCop, no, what? If you remember RoboCop was actually he was a robot, but you got to remember this too. RoboCop was controlled by a program. He couldn't do what he wanted to do. So y'all got to remember that, man. All this stuff is artificial intelligence. All that stuff you seeing with the robots that can kill people, like Wovo was saying, to a certain point, the drones that have like certain caliber weapons loaded up to them, all that shit is a program.
Yep, hence the machine learning. But the scary part about it is just like I think it was Wovo or one of you all was saying earlier, is that they can just like they do the police training exercises with the black faces. And AI has one of the main problems that AI has had is distinguishing the black faces. So that's scary right there. Another thing that irritated me was I think it was maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago, where they came out and they were showing us these police dog robots, and I don't know if that was in New York or California. And I was sitting there looking at these things like, why they always trying to stick dogs on us? Like, y'all got an infatuation with your police dogs or whatnot, but and now you making robot police dogs like you just want to terrorize us. You know, and I don't like it. I do not like it. I don't like it, but they got to be programmed. So we need to get our programmers, kids. We need to get our kids in this programming game so they can be programmed. I know my kids know how to hack a little bit. I need them. You know, we got to cover all bases: hacking, programming, all of it. Right with laughing, you know it's true.
Don't say it too loud. You know, it's a recorded space, so that's all I'm saying.
It is what it is. We need to stop having them people on Discord teaching people they ain't supposed to learn.
It reminds me of something I heard Khalid Muhammad or either him or Malcolm X back in the day, you know, about how black women and men would get bit by those dogs. And he was basically summing up by saying that's a 4-legged dog, and the person that did it was a 2-legged dog.
Facts. Nothing but facts on that one. Volvo, I see you got your hand back up, and we got some new speakers up in here. Alexander, Christopher, Charlie. If you guys, Christopher, Volvo, real quick. Let me get to Christopher. Christopher, go ahead.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Go ahead and unmute your mic, Christopher.
Oh, I just wanted to say, we're living in the age of the Terminator now. All three of the Terminator movies were living in it.
Hey, Chris, adjust your mic. You're kind of low and like in the matrix, like.
Okay.
Yeah, you still a little bit mumble. You don't have. Do you have a headset on anything? A Bluetooth? Yeah, you sound like a little bit mumbled and far away. Go ahead and try it again and see what's up.
All right, how about now?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, cool. Yeah, what I was saying, and I was saying that we're living in the age of the Terminator now. So, I mean, all these robots are building. I wanted to say, notice that, the robots that they're doing, the stuff that they're doing, it's in San Francisco, and that's where, Skynet, the tech company that actually created all that stuff, in the movies, was actually in San Francisco as well. And then you take a look at San Fran, the Silicon Valley. So it's like they're taking the prophecy or whatever, or if not even prophecy, they're turning the fantasy into reality, or making it, into truth, and actually, projecting it to be, something, that's going to actually happen for real. So, it's like they're writing the future for all of this, in front of us. But that's all I really wanted to say. Also, too, yeah, I agree. The old RoboCops are a bit better. I like the new one too, but I think the old ones is just better. It had more of a real flair to it. As far as how one company or one corporation rather controlled crime and created crime and created that, and that's actually what I see was happening now too in a lot of these major cities that are majority black cities, like here in Atlanta, for instance. There's a lot of engineered crime, and I believe that's their excuse to actually deploy all of this, technology that will be targeting for us, because it's like the brother was just saying, they can literally program this stuff to literally specifically target us. And when you program it, you make it do what it is that you want to do. So definitely, man, great talking points, and I'll land my plane on that.
Good to hear you.
Point, News.
Yeah.
Hey, News, real quick too, just to build on what the brother just said. Even though I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. The Terminator was a program too. He had a set of objectives. He wasn't an independent thinker, so y'all really got to get on this program.
Exactly. I was gonna say that too. And also, RoboCop, he had a set of derivatives And what it was, it was certain people that he could not arrest until they were either like fired from the company, because he couldn't arrest. It was the company, the CEO or whatever. He was actually corrupted, and Murphy knew that he was corrupted. But when he tried to arrest him, he couldn't get past that derivative of arresting him until he was actually officially fired by the board. So it's like you said, a program that I myself have studied code language and program myself. I know I've dabbled in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery. I want to get into JSON and XML. I know a lot of companies use that. But
Python too. Yeah, Python is all AI.
Yeah, Python as well. Python is very powerful, very powerful code language. And what's so crazy about it is that it's all rooted or connected back with like JavaScript in some type of way, which is real crazy, which I found out. But it's a learning process every day. I mean, once you can learn one or two languages, and it's still dozens more, a dozen more attributes that you got to learn. But yeah, man. But definitely, man, it's all about program. No doubt. All of that shit is based on program. All the drones that we see flying in military drones is all based on. And what makes it another thing too is this is just another way for them to kill us cleaner. You understand what I'm saying? There's no paperwork to fill out, and on top of that, for fear of us actually getting them and having them be insured, or putting like insurance policies on them, because that's what really would stop them from killing us a lot. If we got insurance policies, insurance involved in it, you can't put an insurance policy on the machines to if they kill you. So it's like nobody's liable or nobody's responsible or nobody has to pay anything. So that's another thing to also think about. It's definitely makes sport cleaner, because that's what they really want to do. They really want to kill us in the cleanest way possible. So I land my plane on that again.
No problem, bro. One thing I find funny is that over the past couple of years since you had the COVID pandemic, at first, people thought that black people actually had immunity to COVID, and it was over there in Europe and Italy and all of those places. People were just dying left and right and this and that. Then it came over here, and black people were the last people. And all of a sudden, before I knew it, black people had become the face of COVID. Like, black people were more susceptible to die from COVID than anybody else in the country. And I'm like, well, damn. At one time, black people were celebrating, thinking like, hey, we may actually have an immunity to this COVID thing. Next thing I know, you start hearing about all these anti Asian incidents happening, people beating up Asians and this and that. Next thing I know, every time I turn on the news, CNN or CBS or whoever, black Americans has started becoming the face of being the ones that was supposedly doing all this violence to Asians. So I'm like, well, damn. Okay, well, I never knew that black people just ran around beating up on Asians and stuff like that. But okay, now we fast forward a couple years later, and all of a sudden, a group that black people, have never been known for beating up on or attacking or this and that or disrespecting. All of a sudden, now black people, in particular black men, are the face of anti-Semitism in the country, and it just keeps going on and on and on. They keep building. Now we got this thing coming with them, like we saying, with these killer robots and stuff like that. It's in San Francisco. Before you know, like I said, it'll be coming to a city near you, and we already know what the programming, like we talked about. I already said that they're gonna start putting these images the same way when they training these cadets and stuff at these shooting ranges to shoot the suspect, and the suspect is always a black dude or whatever. Well, I'm pretty sure they're gonna go ahead and infuse that into the memory chip of this damn robot. So whenever he sees a black man and the black man is a suspect of this and that, like you say, deadly force, and then what can you do then? So every time you turn around and you look, black people are particularly always the face of something that's wrong in this country. So by saying that black people are the face of anti-Asian hate and black people are the face of anti-Semitism, well, then you go ahead and we get rid of the whole thing about racism. Well, there's really no racism, because we all racist at all. So black people really don't have anything to complain about or talk about, because, at the end of the day, everybody in the country is biased and prejudiced and racist. So all this anti-black racism and stuff like that, that's just a figment of imagination. You guys are just carrying on and cutting the fool. It's really you because you guys hate more against anybody else. Look at what you're doing to the Asians and look at what you're doing to the Jewish community. So it's always something to pin a black face on. And now we got it. Like I said, we was a COVID. We became the face of COVID. We became the face of anti-Asian hate. Now they got entertainers they're using, a rapper and a basketball player, and all of a sudden, all of the church, all of the synagogue bombings, and all of the anti-Jewish rhetoric. Now all of a sudden, black Americans are the face of that too. So you have to kind of look and see what's next. What's up? What trick is up the sleeve next?
Amen to that. Definitely. Yeah, man. They're definitely trying to erase racism from the vocabulary and also to the like you just said, the action, because they're trying to put everybody else on top of us and have us used as the proxy. It's kind of no different from what they've always done to us. You know, when they released us from the physical chains and we were out and about in the society. The Birth of a Nation movie. They had us looking like animals. Animalistic, cannibalistic, rapists, and we were just on the prowl and this, that, and the third. And they're really doing it, but in this time they're doing it in a way as to where it's really sophisticated. It's real sophisticated with the technology involved, with the way that they can take us and now make us with the socioeconomic aspect of it, take everything from us, and then they literally have all the tools to frame us and just make us and turn it into the image that they wanted. So they literally have it's a lot of power in that television and them cameras and this technology. But yeah.
Real talk, brother. I appreciate having you on here tonight to speak about it as well, too. I see Professor's back in the space and Original. I haven't heard from Original tonight, so let me go ahead and get it to my man Original, then I'm gonna get it to you, Professor.
All right. Peace, Black Power, and Reparation. Can you hear me, Newstoter?
Loud and clear.
All right. Well, see, what people need to look at also is how these Jewish people, y'all heard of that organization called the Color of Change, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, anyway, that's financed by George Soros, Jewish. The Ella Baker Center for Human Rights, that's financed, and it's the one that controls it is no other than Van Jones, and then you got like the Malcolm X Grassroots Association or Committee, or whatever they call it, which is an insult to our brother Malcolm X, that you went to some white folks and got some money under and using his name. That doesn't see a lot of these black folks that's out here that have these organizations. They can't convince enough of us to follow them because we know that they're stupid and we ain't going and we're not going for the life. So they go to these and see. And the other issue is these Jewish people. They get black folks and others to what they fund black folks and others, and so they put them out there to defend them. I mean, and what's his name? Van Jones is a big one. Oh yeah, he goes out there and defend them all the time. And so we have to start researching who these people. I mean, when you see and the other one, Institute of the Black World. That's that's supposed to be controlled by Ron Daniels. See, I jacked him, as I said before, I jacked him up on a radio show back in 2013. He came on talking all that madness, and so I called in and asked, how does he raise funding for his organization? See, they try to trick it. He started out by saying, well, we don't take money for big tobacco. We don't take money for I said, excuse me, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I want to know, how do you secure funding for your organization. Do you sell but do you sell chocolates or whatever? You sell magazine? What do you do? And then he admitted he takes money from this Open Society campaign, which is owned and controlled by no other than George Soros. And that's why I tell people, when we catch these people out like that, we have to pose questions. Don't make a comment, pose a question, back them up against the wall, and make them either respond to the question, or if they don't, you know that they're lying. And see, that is what has been going on, is that these people, they have been going around the world funding things for different groups. And when someone of that particular group bring out the truth about them, I'm not going to use the word attack, bring out the truth about them, they go to that specific organization and they get somebody and put them in front of the camera, and they go out there and attack one of their fellow members of their group, which is insane. So I just want to say, this George, on this list that I have, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and remember I told y'all, when we were doing a reading of the boys, the souls of black folks, and what they did, they got the boys to change the word Jew, who he said the people who was taking advantage of the aftermath of the Civil War, they got him to change that from Jew to immigrant. So you would think that people immigrating over here, coming over here taking advantage of what was going on in the South. See, these people, they're slick. They think they're slick, they're conniving, and they're very sneaky. And so you have to wonder what really went on in Nazi Germany, or somebody to come at them like that. What really went on? And so, so I just wanted to share that, because what Tariq did to this person, it really, this guy really exposed just who they are as a people. So I don't want anybody, don't ever allow anyone to refer to you or use that in your presence, this so-called anti-Semitism. They can go out here and attack people, do all kind of stuff to people, and see it was them who basically instigated a lot of this stuff on us. Them. And then the same thing happened to me when we were going at them online, and then this guy tried to say that the Jewish involvement in the slave trade was minimal. I said, you're not gonna get away with that. I said, y'all go out and y'all go and you go out and you arrest these 90-year-old Nazis, and you take them back to The Hague or wherever. You prosecute them and put them in, regardless of their involvement. You prosecute them. So I think it's a good thing. The truth is out there, and we just have to continue to pump that truth, regardless of what they say, because now we have so much information now. It's going to be extremely difficult for them, but don't forget, they got their bootlicking samples like Van Jones, and that guy, his name is Rashad something, that on that color of change, and they will come out there, they will be placed out there. Let's not forget about the NAACP too. They would get people from those organizations, including Agent Al Sharpton, that he is an agent. These people would come out there and they would defend them. Because Al Sharpton, he came out saying Kyrie should be punished and this, that, and whatever. Who the hell are you? See, again, this boy, I don't know what he is, but he's a triple agent, because he don't have the best interest of black folks at hand, because there is some information I can't go into it right now, but eventually I will be able to share some information about just how low down Al Sharpton is. But yeah, I just want y'all to, I'm trying to see if I can find this. I don't see a link. I got it saved as a little screenshot, but it don't have the link on it. But I got to see if I can find it again and see if I can, share it. Well, I may have to send it to DJ. He put it in the Jumbotron. But yeah, people, start doing research. When you see these black organizations, and they have another one called Working Family Project, because I was going back and forth with them during one of the last election. And then when I told them, I said, "Oh, I see y'all financed by George Soros, so y'all can't even speak your own mind." Then they stopped communicating with me. But trust me, when you look at all these black organizations, because see, they're not funding themselves, and they can't convince us to fund them, so they go to other people. And usually those other people, they are the Jewish people that gives them money. But they would come out there and they will attack us and say we are the worst of the worst. So I'm happy that this happened. And this 2023 is going to be a great year at the reparation rally with Sister No Taxation. And I land on that.
All right, brothers. Always, I appreciate having you up in the space, original. Definitely appreciate your honesty and whatnot. So let's go ahead because we got a couple new speakers. I want to get to them. I'm gonna get to everybody that spoke before too. But we got Alexander and Leon in here, so I want to go ahead and just hear what they got to say real quick, and then I'm gonna get to you, Professor, and you, Ree and Ray. But Alexander, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello, everyone. This is actually my second time back on here.
Okay.
I missed the whole Tariq Nasheed and Jewish thing, but the killer robots in San Francisco, that is something that we have to get into IT about it because, like, just like the previous speaker said, like, they're using it, one, to kind of avoid liability so they ain't got to pay out, a civil suit like they usually do. But also, in the grander scheme of things, like, this country is, like, going through like the fourth industrial revolution. Like when you guys started talking about smart speakers and stuff like that, that's all that stuff is the Internet of Things. Smart TVs. I even see you can actually hook Wi-Fi up to your stove now because I'm in the market for a stove. You can actually start doing that. So like movies like the RoboCop and the Terminator, it was just a glimpse into the future. But this country is going through like a fourth industrial revolution. And there's a YouTuber, it's a white woman, but there's a YouTuber that talks about this kind of stuff. Her name is Allison McDowell. And she kind of covers like all this technology stuff and what they intend on doing, it, even in education. Like they're gonna, it's like Black Mirror. You're just gonna start seeing like the merging of technology with humanity. And I'll rest my case on that.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. Glad to have you up in the space. Let's go ahead to Leon. Leon, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you again, Newstoter. How you doing tonight? How's everybody doing?
Doing good, brother.
Your space tonight's another good one, man. What's up, TJ? Yo, your space is another banger.
Hey, Leon.
Who was that?
It's Rella.
Oh, how you doing, girl? So, anyway, Tariq Nasheed. Thank you for playing that. I was listening to her earlier because I did not see when Tariq had his space up or the recording. I just was a little bit busy today. And, yeah, the Tiny Hats are in damage control ever since, with the whole Kanye and Kyrie. And, shout outs to the Hebrew Israelites for standing up for Kyrie. I love the marches. I love how they literally almost wrapped up the Barclay, putting them all on notice. And you know what? That's something we need to see more of and need to do it more. It doesn't matter what organization, Black organization does it. It just needs to be done to show them that we are unified. We are out in force, tenfold. Ain't no hundreds. We in the thousands. Like those brothers, they were. Oh man, I actually counted. It looked like it was almost 3,000. They want to say it was only a mere 100. I was like, nah, that was like about 3,000. But anyway,
yeah, whoever gave you that report that it was only a few hundred of the people.
They lied, nah.
They definitely lying. You know what I'm saying?
Take a good look at when they put the one aerial view with the drone, and you can just see them marching. I'm sitting there counting.
Well, I've seen these brothers deep like that in person. run down the street like that in my own city of Newark in person. You know what I'm saying? So they very well deep and connected, but that's just one chapter of the Hebrews that's from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them brothers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely shout out to them. You know, no matter if you believe in it or not or whatever have you. But they out there for the people, man. They out there for Kyrie, man. And not saying we all will support them too. But it's just good seeing that on a major scale like that. But yeah, like I said, the Teddy has no damage control. They try to do anything and everything right now to try to change this narrative because it is everything right now is shining a bad look on them. And we're just not putting up with it. Whatever the case may, if they want to start calling us hate towards them, there's really no hate. We just know y'all living in fraud. Y'all false, and we just tired of it. We're calling you out, calling all these historic black organizations out that's still supporting them, because we know if you do your research, most of the historical black organizations were founded by the Tiny Hats right from the jump. So I'll just leave it at that, and thank you again.
Appreciate having you again, brother. Glad to have you up in the space. Let me go ahead and get to Professor. Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, thank you again, Newstoter. I will say this, y'all. This whole issue with the robots, the killer robots, I want to take you guys back. I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago. There was a hostage situation in Dallas. There was a brother that I think
Micah Johnson.
Say it again.
Micah Johnson.
Yeah, that was held up in some building, and the Dallas police decided to release a killer robot at that time. I guess they were calling themselves testing this out. And of course, they tested it out on one of us. So right there, my people, we should have seen this coming. I hope this didn't surprise anybody about San Francisco, because if you look back to that situation, we knew this was coming. So just look for more cities to probably be bringing this in. And so we just have to know that it's here. We need to be alert, be ready for anything, which I think most of us are. And that's what all I have to say about that, y'all. We just got to be ready. Now, for you, Alexander, I know you said something about this white lady that's on YouTube. We got our own technical expert right here in this space, and he's right up there at the top there, one of the co-hosts. Yeah, that's DJ. That's our technical guy right there. I just wanted to make that known to you.
Real talk. That's WPI DJ, better known as DJ. He's definitely a technical whiz, and he definitely comes in handy, helps us out quite a bit. So definitely and we need as many technical brothers as possible too, y'all. We in a new age and stuff like that. I can tell you, definitely being online, having an actual site, Newstoter, the curation platform that it is definitely good to have as many technical people as possible to help you out. So especially if you're not really technical yourself, and I'm not a real technical person, but it's definitely great to have that on hand. So we definitely need more of our people in the technical fields and stuff as well. I'm gonna kick it to One Love, and then who said something? I'm sorry.
It's Charlie. I was kind of waiting for a minute. I was waiting for everybody to get their shit on.
Okay, Charlie. Well, I didn't see you raise your hand there, brother.
Oh, my bad. All right. Let me raise my hand. Then just holler at me when it's my turn. I'll raise my hand.
Well, you might as well just go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead now.
Sit in the room for a minute. Yeah, you gotta raise your hand. Always use the heart emoji right there to raise your hand. All right.
Go ahead, Charlie.
All right. Appreciate it, brother. Man, I'm gonna say this. I'm a non-violent FBA member. I'm not promoting any type of violence on anybody or anything. But now that I'm hearing about what I've been knowing about this robotic, situation as far as it, affecting Black people in general, I try to pose a question to other groups
I'm not going to say any names, but so if we have this issue where we have terminators, such as these robots, such as Spot, that Tariq Nasheed broke down, and others, I'm kind of questioning. Like, I'm 30, I'm born in '92. I came across Tariq Nasheed, Hidden Colors in 2011 or 12, I believe. I've been following him and following other scholars and just researching everything, or as much as possible. So I'm just wondering. I'm not trying to dox anybody. I'm not trying to get anybody under the radar. If you are involved with the feds, you got a case or anything. I work at UPS. I'm putting myself out there because they know what I do. They can research what websites I look at, what I'm into. I only got a few followers on this Twitter account. This is real me. If you look at my account right now, that's what I look like. That's who I am. So I'm trying to pose this question as I pose to other spaces, which I've been cut off. I've been cut off just by trying to ask this question. But since we're talking about robotics eliminating Black people, I'm not this generation, FBI, CIA, because, so what do we do about this situation or problem that not only do real life human beings, race soldiers eliminate us, but robots, like, we are a powerless people. According to Tariq Nasheed and other scholars, we are a powerless people. We don't build bullets, guns, or nothing. I'm not really expecting anybody to really answer, because it sounds like we're taking the route of Constitution and rights and all that stuff. That sounds good. But just being a follower and a person who studies other scholars under this umbrella of wokeness, like, how do we combat these people at this present time? Like, how do you stop a robot? Like, when do we? And I asked this question to Tariq Nasheed one time, but I didn't really get an answer. I said, like, when do we Black Panther Killmonger some shit? That's not a question to y'all. You don't have to answer that. But just being who I am and just being a follower, it's just like, damn, it just sounds like we got to go that route. I don't think it's going to happen in this generation, but I don't know what to ask, because I'm not trying to dox anybody or get anybody in trouble. I'm already asking a question. I work at UPS. They know where I'm at. I'm just asking a question, like, white supremacy respects bloodshed. Like, it's purely that. They don't respect no laws or nothing. So it's kind of like, then what? I mean, that's all I had to ask, Toter. I respect you for even letting me get this off without being cut off, because you're the first space or host or whatever you call yourself to let me say this, because all the other spaces with Sir Major, I got cut off. With Yaya, I got cut off. I'm just asking a question, not in this lifetime. I'm not promoting violence, but it's like, well, goddamn, do we just keep on? What do we do? This the white and I'm say so. We got no military backing, like literally nothing. That's all I gotta say. That's all I wanted to say.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really know what to really say about that. Really, to be truthful, I mean, you made some points. I really, to be honest, brother, I really can't answer. I really don't know. I don't even know what's the future. I mean, we believe that this is going to probably be a widespread issue here as well, too. So, I really don't know exactly what to say. I'm no expert or anything like that, so I can't really tell you exactly what. I need to drop somebody down from speaker. If anybody wants to drop down, what's up?
Just one more thing. This is the last point I want to make. Like, I asked, I I tried to ask Sir Major this, like, what if the system, the powers that be, just say, you know what, we hear your claim. Fuck y'all. We ain't getting reparations. We hear it. It's true what you say. You just ain't getting it. Then what? Like, it sounds like an ultimatum of what I want to say, but I'm not trying to promote violence. It just sounds like the end all be all. Like, you ain't getting it. Then what? Then what if they acknowledge, we hear you, we owe you this, but you're not getting it? Fuck you. What if they just said fuck you from the Republican and Democrat? Fuck your non-voting ass. You just ain't getting it. Then what? And that's one question that people in, the Tariq Nasheed circles, which I'm in, or Sir Majors, which I'm in, or any other people, they don't want to acknowledge that because it's just like, then what? Then what? It sounds like X, Y, and Z. I'm not promoting violence. They know what I look up. They know who I am, what I do. I said what I do. So it's just, that's it. Like, goddamn. That's it.
Hey, Tyler, can I answer that, please?
Yeah, go ahead and hold it down 1 second. Hold it down 1 second for me. But after you do that, because let's let Ree go, and then let's let Friedman go next. After that is speakers.
Hey, what you call it, Alexander. So I understand 100% what you're saying, but a lot of those names you mentioned, and it's not to disrespect anybody, they're not reparations. So let's start there. You feel what I'm saying? First of all, so when we talk about reparations, we are closer to getting and obtaining reparations than we have ever had in our lifetime. I think the problem is with folks like yourself, you're not studying the information. You're not looking at what it really means to be a reparationist. And that's unfortunately an issue with all our black folks, freemen, ADOS, whatever we call ourselves. You know what I mean? Just means Negro, black, American at the end of the day. Other thing is too, don't ever say you follow anybody, because when you follow people, you wind up getting yourself in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Be a leader at all times, even in your own individual right. So when you say that, what if they just say F you and all this? They can't. Bill Order number 15 says we are guaranteed 40 acres in a mule. So therefore, meaning that's our inheritance. See that? A debt is owed. Reparations by definition is a debt that's owed. So therefore, meaning we don't have to actually pick up a sword nowadays and hit anybody with it to obtain what is rightfully ours. You see what I'm saying? All you got to do is get in the legislation part of it, the politics, you know what I'm saying, and get people on board and on code to obtain our reparations or our inheritance, as I like to call it, you know what I'm saying? Because that's really our ancestors' money, you know what I mean? But it should have been passed down to us as generations went along post-Civil War. So with that being said, there's a lot of other people out here that you need to be following, and not those folks that you mentioned. Henceforth, you're not getting the right rhetoric, and you also feeling indifferent about the reparations conversation. So with that being said, y'all, reparations2023.com. Reparations2023.com. Again, reparations2023, all one word, .com. You could go there and make sure you get yourself prepared to pull up on Father's Day next summer, or next year, rather the case be. And I'll hit you in the DM of some folks you need to be looking at to become more in tune with reparations. And as far as those other folks that when you ask them these questions about the then what, of course they can't give you an answer because they don't study reparations. They study trolling. Keep it, be honest. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel indifferent by saying that shit because it ain't no disrespect to anybody. It's just being real. You know what I mean? FBA is the bastard child of ADOS, bro. You know what I'm saying? For those that know and understand that. You feel me? So again, when we talk about reparations, we already about to get it, bro. You know what's holding us back? Black people, bro.
Yep, our own people. He's right on that, Charlie. But DJ, I want to chime in right quick on to help Charlie out with something. Brother, we really don't need to have to resort to any type of violence, because here's the deal. Land and Freedmen's Bureau was set up for us in 1865 and 1866. That was legislation that was put into place by Abraham Lincoln. He signed that. He signed the first piece of that legislation in 1860. I think it was around March 3rd, March 2nd, somewhere around there, 1865. Okay, that was set up for us as a way to transition us from slavery into becoming total freedmen with land and income. Okay, now that was legislation that was already put into place that should have been enacted at the time, even though Lincoln, of course, was assassinated. The next guy in line was this idiot, President Johnson, who was supposed to carry it out. President Johnson did not carry out this legislation. He reneged on it. He was a Southern Democrat. What he did, he gave land and money to you know who, the slave owners. So that was legislation that was put in place for us that was stolen. Okay? So we shouldn't have to resort to anything. Technically speaking, that legislation that's already on the books is supposed to be enacted really right now because it's old. Do you understand where I'm coming from, brother? That's what I want you to understand.
All right, y'all. I just came back, so let me go ahead and kick it to let's kick it to Reed. Let's kick it to Freeman. And those are probably going to be our last two speakers for the night as well, too.
Thank you for that, Newstoter and DJ and Professor. I want to say this. None of us are opposed to by force. But what we have not collectively been able to activate is the demand of instituting or actually demanding the debt that is owed under our actual codified legislation of the 39th Congress by way of HR 613. Most people who resort to want to have the conversation of, oh, we should just go ahead and do what they did on January 6th. I would say that you have not exercised your full rights as an American freedman if you are an American freedman descendant, which means you have identified that you are of the lineage of an emancipated or free people of color. Because remember, the free people of color were also covered under the guise of the African American term. And so what Andrew Johnson did is he was the first initial gate holder besides Lincoln. I should say Lincoln was the first. Andrew Johnson was actually just a staunch Democrat racist who upheld and actually decided to change, reclassify our people to move you out of the federal protection and actually put you under the state protection by claiming a Negro American, colored, and the like. And so what I want to say to people who have that question like Charlie, because I've heard it pretty much throughout my entire career as a collectivist, and getting involved in my state and city, and now being a heavy advocate for reparations, is that if you are stuck in a position where you feel like we need to have some other type of authority, I would say gather people up around you, and whatever you do, make sure you're polished. The thing about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King is, one, they both were intellectual and had different opposite ideas on how to get things done. However, they never married the two long enough to actually build a greater arc around our people. And so the society wants us to have you pick and choose the different people who speak as your leader, as someone who you follow and that sort of thing. You should be following the documentation. You should be following and uncovering information. It is not to become a fan of anyone. The fan is the information. So because we collectively have never gotten to the point where we are today in revoking the American Freedom by law, by legislation under the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment in a large number, our demands are not being heard. The reason why you have immigrants at the Supreme Court asking for the affirmative action to be removed because they're not included by law, and it excludes them by number from actually invading and overpopulating universities. That is a fact. Imagine if we actually did that, had attorneys to actually go and fight on behalf of American freedmen at the Supreme Court. That is the move. So when you say we should be doing, something like, getting together and ready to, Killmonger. Well, Killmonger also was intelligent and strategic, and he did say that he was a mercenary. And I do believe that the way you go about doing that is you actually have to use your intellect as well as uncovering information on how you're strategically going to actually infiltrate. That's what guerrilla warfare is. So, no, I am not a violent person. However, I would demand that we all show up like the immigrants seem to exercise their power when they actually invade our country. And where do they go? They go directly to the government, the federal government, not state government. They go directly to the federal government. What they do on the state level is they purge resources. If you notice, the first thing they do is they go they go and they pillage the resources in the communities, which is why we have sanctuary cities. We're outnumbered. Outorganized, excuse me. We're outorganized. That is our problem. And folks like to get mad and say, oh, well, we should be doing this. No, well, actually, we should be doing all the above. You have to get to the point where you multitask, you know what it is and where you are and what state you're living in, what the laws are, local, state, and federal, how they impact you, and how do they show up on ballots, not wait to go to ballots to vote. There are committees, referendum committees, where you can actually have shit put on a ballot to vote for. That's the reason why we have never seen nothing that we would like to vote for in the United States on the state level. And again, so I would say channel that energy that you have. And if you're not already running for office or thinking about getting on some sort of city council level, I don't even care if you're a post office worker. You can also be on the school board. You can do so many different things. We have to flood the gates. We need black majority states, migration going on, period. And we need to get into political offices, local offices, school boards, committees. So even your churches. I think there was a guy I saw, and I'll land after this. There was a gentleman I saw, finally, a church came out, a pastor came out and spoke on the Kyrie Irving and Kanye West situation with Stephen A. Smith, Shaq, and Charles Broccoli. And yes, I said broccoli because I have no respect for broccoli for him.
Cheese on the extra cheese on mine.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, take that energy and do what your ancestors did. Because a lot of y'all don't realize how many slave revolts that we had. And a lot of you all also don't realize that we had people in political office who were literally murdered out of office. So that means you need to prepare yourself for what's getting ready to happen. Get your CCWs up. Get your tactical training going on. If you want to go back to school, whatever it is you're about to do, sharpen your iron. Now, put your full armor on, spiritual and physical. And that's how I land my 747.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get real quick to we're gonna get to Freeman, and then that'll probably be the last speaker of the night.
Thank you, Newstoter, for having this space and allowing me to come up to speak. Peace to the room. I did have a chance to listen to Tariq going at it with that Jewish caller. And to me, the thing that I guess that stood out the most was just the power of propaganda, because this person, he sounded young, but I really don't know how old he was. He sounded like he was a younger person, but he was just going on about Kyrie and Kanye and how they're pushing this anti-Semitic propaganda. And if you listen to a lot of these people, and I guess this is what the whole ADL and these Zionists, their whole thing is the fact that if you say anything against them that's anti-Semitic and it's going to cause another genocide of the Jews, that's what he kept saying. And every time Tariq would point out, well, it's not black people or Kyrie or Kanye that, shooting up Jewish synagogues and he, carrying tiki torches in Charlottesville. It's not black people. It's not that have been doing this. It's like he kept saying, well, they have more influence, and it's like, where is this incredible influence coming from? A basketball player and a rapper have more influence than the entire Jewish community worldwide. And it just really makes you kind of wonder. It's like, where is this influence that they're seeing in us? I know maybe, it sounds ridiculous, but I don't know. They seem to be convinced that Kanye and Kyrie can have a army of people trying to genocide Jews. I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous, but that's what he kept saying. So I don't know. Maybe it's us that don't realize that. It sounds ridiculous. I think it's actually for most of us, but I don't know. Maybe they have one. Maybe we do have. Maybe the whole problem is we just don't really understand how much influence we have, because these people are convinced that we can just whatever we say, we're going to have all of this carnage and cause them to be genocide. So I don't know. Maybe it's a tactic to ultimately just wipe us out, but I don't know. They got these people convinced of it. I saw a comedian on CNN talking about this and how much influence Kyrie has, more influence and more followers than the entire Jewish population, which is so ridiculous because Kyrie's one person. But it's crazy. But I don't know. Maybe if there's some crazy way, maybe we do have this kind of influence. The last thing I want to say about that whole Kyrie thing is, I don't know if anybody else saw this, but I saw an interview with one of the leaders of the Hebrew Israelites. He said the news didn't report this at all, but he said there were busloads of rabbis that had pulled up to the Barclays Center to, I guess, they harass Kyrie, and they were going to surround the Barclays Center. And when they saw the Hebrew Israelites, they actually got back on their buses and left. So they were trying to bury that young man. They were literally just out to destroy him, I guess, to make an example of him. And from what I understand, they're not finished yet. They're still planning on going after him. But I just want to say kudos to the black community, because they really were going to destroy him and end him. But the black community, the Hebrew Israelites stepped up, and the entire black community stepped up. So, kudos to us, pat ourselves on the back. And like I said, maybe we really do have more influence than what we really think. So, I don't know, maybe we just continue with the propaganda like them and convince everybody, yeah, we need reparations. And maybe that's what we really just need to do at this point, since we have so much influence that we can barely influence the whole world. And with that, I'll land my plane.
All right. Thank you, Freedman Angel. Thank you for your contribution tonight to the conversation. Definitely appreciate it. And whenever you get a chance, please stop by and visit the News Total Twitter space. For everybody that's in the space that don't know, Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we hold our spaces. So please, if you don't have anything else going on, even if you can't catch us live, and you can always catch a recording like tonight, we're recording it. And it's also live streaming on YouTube as well, too. So if you're having connection issues, you can go to YouTube and actually catch the live stream as well, too. So appreciate everybody coming in. Let's go ahead and get to the actual co-host. Let you guys go ahead and say something to finish the night off. Also, guys, if you have not, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We need to get those subscribers up. So go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Newstoter. It's in the Jumbotron as well, too. Subscribe to the newsletter. That's also in the Jumbotron. And also support the largest Black-owned news curation platform in America today. You can do that by Cash App, which is $Newstoter. That's $Newstoter. So I'm gonna kick it to Ray and DJ, and then we're gonna close the space out for the night.
I guess I'll end on this. One of the last things I heard him saying about, about that guy, the Leo Frank guy, was that he was pardoned by the Georgia State Board of Pardon. But according to what I'm reading, it says he was pardoned, but they still heavily believe. Well, I'll say this, I don't want to put any words. It said that he has not officially been absolved of the crime. So even though he did get a pardon, they still heavily believe, from what I'm reading, that he did have something to do with it. And I land on that.
All right, Ray, appreciate it. DJ, you got it.
Yeah, apologize. That was Charlie, not Alexander, that asked that question before about the reparations, right?
I'm not sure. I had stepped away for a second. Remember?
I wasn't looking at the screen, you know what I mean? So,
it was
right. I see the brother dropped out, though. But to make a long story short, again, we're closer than we've ever been. Matter of fact, we could get reparations right now, We're really good. But again, it's not to say us here, but our cousins and aunties and big bros and homies and shit, and our sisters down in the block, and our people don't want to advocate for this shit, let alone demand what it is we're owed. So with that being said, go over to the reparationist perspective, get in the Jumbotron, it's right there. Put a tweet. Again, it's Black people who are holding up reparations. So that's a little thread I created right there, top left-hand side. So if y'all want to understand what reparations is, you go follow our sister, the reparationist perspective. She got 300 plus videos speaking strictly on reparations and why we are owed and why we should demand what it is we're owed. But unfortunately, like Boss Lady always said, reparations is the long game because Negroes can't get on code with this shit. But we'll get on code to go do some ratchet shit, though, in a minute, though. But I yield there. And for the record, Newsweek put out an article in 2016 that American descendants of chattel slavery are each owed $151 million apiece, and that's just a down payment, and they ain't really even enough because you really can't put a number on what it is you owe us because y'all done did so much shit. Henceforth, why we need that reparations checklist. So if you've been, fired from a job because you're Black, shout out to Sister Christina. We had that conversation last night. Shout out to Allah. Go get the book allegedly. Thebookallegedly.com. Thebookallegedly.com. So we need these little checklists, medical apartheid. I know Sister Rella always talking about that. The prison, school to prison pipeline. These folks owe us this whole country. They might as well just go and sign this shit the fuck over. You feel what I'm saying? The 400 years is up. Y'all giving away all these billions of dollars to Ukraine. I don't care about no Ukrainians. I don't care if Putin bombed the shit out the motherfuckers. That's not our problem, yo. Real shit. And the majority of them folks is Nazis. And and if you don't believe that, all you got to do is go back about 30 some odd years in history when Bill Clinton and Gorbachev was the presidents of the free worlds, and they signed the Budapest Accord, meaning that Ukraine will not cross over into Russia. You feel what I'm saying? Because if you do, it's over. And then you see that now. It's over. So ain't no need to feel bad for none of these people. It is what it is. That's not our problem, Jim Crow, Joe Jangles. We want our bread, and we coming to get that shit. So again, reparations2023.com. Reparations2023.com. And a matter of fact, and let me put one more thing in the chat. That brother Original did text me just real quick. You know what I mean?
And boycott the NBA and the NFL as much as you can. I know a lot of y'all are sports fanatics. I am too. But these big organizations believe that we do not have the mental capacity and control to really put them on their ass. And we do.
Keep boycotting Nike and Adidas as well.
All these white companies, that's why my name WPI, white public institutions are anti-black. You know what I'm saying? So boycott all these people. You know, shout out to Sister Blood Pack. Start blocking these Nike accounts, Adidas accounts, NBA, NFL. You know, even if you turn around and still watch sports, I watch my Giants at least once a week. I'm being straight because I just like football. You feel what I'm saying? But all this other shit getting boycotted. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't watching shit else. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even barely get a chance to watch my G game because I'm at work most of the time. So I just got to catch the highlights on the screw too. You know what I'm saying? But even with that being said, I think we can start doing a little bit better job of just doing the most simplest shit. Block these accounts so that way Twitter, and ain't no disrespect to Elon, don't get no advertising money. You know what I'm saying? Because these folks are anti-black. Start boycotting. Oh, don't buy no Nikes, none of that shit. Start buying black as much as you possibly can. And I understand that may be hard for some of us, but we have a sister by the name of Maggie Anderson. Maggie Anderson. You can look her up right here on the Twitter. She go by the name R Black Year. O-U-R, R Black Year. O-U-R Black Year. So she wrote a book detailing how to buy strictly black as much as you possibly can. And yeah, it ain't gonna be all peaches and cream. You still gonna have to go to the WPIs to get little knickknacks, say that and the third. But at least you can start making the transition. And that's really what all it is about, making the transition to start practicing group economics amongst us, because that's what these folks do. Remember, when they talk about this $1 trillion spending power, that's us going into their shops and spending our money. Imagine if we just took that trillion right out the neighborhood. I think the economy will fucking crumble overnight if we just stop going into these retail establishments and buying shit that we really don't fucking need. You know what I mean? Buy used. You ain't even got to buy brand new all the time. But I yield there, man. Get in the Jumbotron.
And please share Rella's change.org for the AD for the ADL. Please repost that on your pages if you can. Share it with your people. Get them to sign it. We have got to do, like they said, the simple things. And sometimes the simple thing is just taking the time out to go and sign a petition and promote it. We have got to be our biggest promoters for ourselves. We are our own advocates.
Facts. Hey, Rob, you got that tweet on your profile?
It's on the my main profile, but I'll post it again on here and then save it so they'll have it.
All right, y'all. On that note, I want to say I appreciate everybody who came into the space tonight. Thank everybody who came in and shared the space and everybody who spoke and listened. Appreciate you guys so much. We will see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please, if you get a DM or whatever, go ahead and tweet it out. Help us spread the word or whatever. So not exactly sure what the topic's going to be, but it's going to be something interesting as well. So go ahead and stop by, swing by, hang out with us if you can. If you can't, catch the recording. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Everybody be easy and y'all have a good night.
Good night, y'all. Reparations up.